Just let me know when you're all set.
Sure.
I'm all set. We're live.
Okay. All right. So we have a lost episode right before this, but I'm going to briefly describe what happened in the lost episode. It was a short one, but if anyone is ever viewing these at any point in the future, aliens or otherwise, I'm going to give you some context.
Aliens.
All right. Get my mic in the right spot. Less than an hour ago, you arrived at the crossroads, hoping that the Keeper can get you closer to the Knock-Knock lair more quickly. He said that he thinks he can help you out, but first he needs to talk to the newcomers you brought with you, as is his custom. In the meantime, you explored the draconian camp that has been set up in his domain. You learned that they plan to establish a democracy on the island, and that a key component of their grand empire is indentured servitude exacted from the tax of birth. Their citizens are expected to serve the government for a set number of years before gaining greater freedoms. You met a human woman named Geraldine Swift, who hates making sails, but has been forced into that position since their alchemist died on the beach. Killen was particularly interested in finding a way to break her out of her servitude, since she would rather be an adventurer. Osen suggested that if the group helps to free Geraldine, it should be in a diplomatic way. Your group talked to the Lord Diplomat of the Scales of Draconia, an elf by the name of Gerard Stewart. He explained the Draconian philosophy and their idealist plans for the island. Currently, you're all taking advantage of a hot sauna bathhouse to relax and recover from the soreness of your adventures. With you is Tobias Wolf, one of the survivors from the Mirror Realm who Killen helped to escape. Although he talks in code while using language related to chess, he has invited each of you into a unique opportunity. He wants to cripple the Scales of Draconia here on the island while they're separated from their faction. He believes that they are full of evil, seeking total domination of the world while calling slavery peace. So, says Tobias, what do you say, my friends? Should we change history for the better? What do you do? And if you need any reminders of anything, just let me know. I know it's been a while.
So he is basically trying to convince us to start a revolution of sorts.
Yeah, what he said so far is that he's from the island nation of Volcania, which is rife with and Volcania, as a reminder, is a place where there is this really angry fire god creature that demands virgin sacrifices, and the world has almost been destroyed several times by this almost not happening. And the Council of Nations kind of finds this a disgusting practice, so they don't include Volcania as part of the Council of Nations, but they also are not willing to tempt the wrath of this creature that they have to continue to feed. So there's this yearly sacrifice that happens to keep the world from being destroyed. Volcania, therefore, doesn't really receive any support, and the people living in Volcania have a really desperate situation if they are not of the temple class or the upper class. Tobias is one of the people that is not of the upper class, and like Thimen and all the rest of those adventurers who came here, they were coming here looking for a way to find wealth and get their families out of the situation. They made a very desperate escape of stealing a ship to get out to try to find a way to change the lives of the people in the communities they care about. Draconia has a lot of resources, and Volcania and many people from Volcania have tried to find ways to reach out to get help, but they feel like they have been abandoned by Draconia. And Tobias is one of these people who, in Tobias's estimation, as far as you can tell, he's gotten to the point that he thinks and he believes that wealth is immoral. Especially obscene wealth.
What's classified as obscene?
The what he would describe as people that are obscenely wealthy or gratuitously wealthy to the point that everyone else is suffering as a result. And his perspective has clearly been to you guys that nobody gains power and wealth without other people suffering for it.
So he's somewhere, if you talk about like today's political views, he's somewhere between socialist and communist.
Something like that, but you've gotten some indication that he might even have a little bit of anarchist in him as well.
I do like anarchy. Me, Kyle, not Luminous.
About to say Luminous likes anarchy.
Maybe.
Guess we'll see.
He changes his opinion on stuff all the time with his ADHD.
What you're suggesting would require a lot of muscle.
Oh, right, mate. You're right about that. But here's the thing. I've been collecting a lot of information here about these people. And I don't know what the plan would be, but someone like you, the mind like yours, I've heard you can get things done. I can tell you what I have observed about these people, if you're willing to entertain my thoughts.
I'm interested to see where this goes, so yes, please indulge me.
All right, mate. So that machine you might have seen out there, the Lord Artisan of these people,
Potato.
the Draken woman, with those kind of robot parts to her, she's working on some kind of flying machine. Problem is, she's already tried to make one, from what I gather. And the first one was destroyed by something they call the Sky Screech. Apparently, if you fly too high in a place like this island, something's out there to get you. She's trying to find a way to make it defensible. But what she has is what you might describe as volatile source of magic. Some sort of imbeline fuel crystals they found here. I'm thinking that if somebody understands more about magic than I do, they might be able to find a way to make that go boom. The other things I've noticed, you've got 3 main leaders of this group that all think that they are the primary leader. And I don't think they get along as well as they try to suggest to other people. So you've got her, you've got the Lord Diplomat who you've met already, Gerard, and you might have met the dwarf woman, the Lord Merchant. Now she, I don't know where she keeps it. It's got to be well defended in some way, but she has a lot of magical items and special items that she could sell, and I guess sell isn't really the word here. They realize that money's of no use here. They're trading things, they're collecting things. I'm sure they're doing terrible things to gain some of them, because they know that the currency here is survival. So they're hoarding these magic items, not for people like you. Like people like you, Cryptus would hoard this for research, right? They're doing it just so they can trade them away for better things. Now, this might be important for you to know. The leprechaun out there, I forget her name, something green. Bernadette, I believe. She, like many leprechauns, can sniff out the kinds of things you got on you. If it's valuable, just with a sniff, she can tell you what years of research on a magic item could do. Because that's the nature of her people. The mercenaries might be able to be persuaded to anyone's cause with the right amount of coin involved. You already met Geraldine. From what I hear, she wants to get out of here. Some of the others would be problems. The Oni, don't know if you've seen me yet. Don't know if you haven't run into someone like him. He's, don't let his brutish looks and his big size fool you, because he's absolutely strong, but an Oni is just as strong in magic as it is in might. And of course, there's the Gorgon woman, who if she really wanted to, could turn you into stone. There's some problematic things there. And, of course, the brothers, the two Draken brothers, don't know what they're capable of. They're quite silent, but they always follow around the Lord Merchant. Now, you came with a veritable army of people here who might not be as interested in the same things. But it doesn't have to get messy, whatever happens here. I'm thinking that with someone like a brain like yours, if we really wanted to, we could find a way to make everything look like an accident.
They're suggesting we somehow sabotage this machine.
Well, I think that would be as beautiful as a pawn taken out a queen.
Check.
Exactly, my friend. Check.
Trying
All
to
you
understand,
really need to win is a check. Once
trying
you
to
have a check,
understand your philosophy here. These people are... They trade in goods. They're not wealthy in the sense that one would normally think. But what is the end goal? What are you gaining from this?
well, we gain whatever they have, so that we can take what they've got for whatever purposes we want. It's not an accumulation of gold to be used for enslaving people like these people do. What we'd be doing is liberating people. Liberating people to make their own choices about what should be theirs. None of the things that these people own, claim to own, are things that they deserve. They're things that they took. Even the lives, their birth tax, the tax of birth. There are people here that believe that they just have to serve their greater purpose, their entire lives, to get and gain greater freedoms. You are taxed as soon as you are born in Draconia, in any place in Draconia. Unless, of course, you are fortunate and wealthy in some way, because then you can pay your way out of it, which means that everything about their nation, everything about all the practices and the practice they want to embark on for the rest of the world is all about controlling people with money. If we cripple them here, where they are cut off from all the rest of their people, this is all of them. This is all of them on the island. And these are some important players for their entire faction. We cripple them here. We take what they will absolutely not use for any good, and we can use it for good, whatever good we see fit, because they sure as all the planes will not.
I look to Luminous because he has more knowledge of what's happened in the past in the conversations, but with a look of kind of, what do you think about this guy?
Well, he's not as crazy as the leader of that group out there. If Killian was here to have you talk to him about that, mostly because they argued for an hour and a half in real life. Yeah, I mean, it's awful that they believe that they are a free country or a free civilization when you still have to pay your services. Like, what's the name of the girl's name? I forgot her name.
Geraldine.
Geraldine. She doesn't want to do this for a living, be a merchant, but the only way that she can ever get out of debt and not have to be a slave is by making sales, which seems morally wrong. Now is the approach that he's taking right? I don't know. I'd have to think on it a little bit more. It's not something I've thought about very much. It's very sad, to say the least.
I'm all for
Kill it.
helping people with getting out from under the thumb of a higher authority if they feel subjected to something they do not like.
Well, the thing is, when I talk to them, they don't even realize that it's a problem, or like what we consider would be an issue in slavery. They don't see it as that.
I think that's my issue with the plan is,
Yeah.
are they ready for an uprising when they don't know anything different?
They don't. They aren't.
And will they become an opposing force to defend their land?
Yeah, I don't think so right now. You'd have to talk to more people and figure it out and see where they're at. Because from the people we've talked to, they haven't felt that way. But they also might be in the minority. I doubt it.
If they were raised from birth to that this is the system that they follow, I cannot imagine convincing someone to turn against their own leaders in the time that we have here.
Well, like I said, I'm not going to force you into my plan. It's not even a plan that exists at this point, right? Something I was hoping to do together. But if we don't do anything, and we leave that girl that wants to get out of here to her fate of eventually getting her freedom when she is too old to use it.
Which one is she again?
The one you're highlighting, Geraldine.
Oh, right here. Okay.
And for context, since you weren't here, Osint, she snuck on to the boat to escape of life of making sails, and then after their alchemist was killed on the first night, she was forced to make sails on the island.
So why not just take her with us?
So, and you all had this conversation because she decided, you kind of convinced her that if she wanted to go with you, you might be able to find a way, and Killen was essentially ready to do whatever it took to do that, and Osen, which I believed would be in character for you, said, why don't we see if we can do this diplomatically? And you talked to Gerard Stewart altogether.
Did not go great.
And he just sort of explained the philosophy of democracy and how everybody owes their part for the greater good of the future, basically. And,
democracy.
And democracy and mercantile and peace through democracy and diplomacy. And you didn't actually end up talking to him about the specific issue of finding a way to get Geraldine out of her situation. So that never came up because he said, why don't you guys all take some time to relax, use one of our saunas, and enjoy your time here, essentially.
And where is he?
He is
this guy.
Elf right up here.
Okay. And his position is what again?
He's the Lord Diplomat. He is responsible. He's responsible for a lot of the ambassador type work. When you all met him, he quickly distinguished things about your backgrounds, and he did a very traditional Titanian greeting with Killen. He was very flattering toward all of you. And he didn't have any kind of indicator that he thought he was any better than anyone else. He spoke in a very humble kind of way, a very humble yet very confident and grounded kind of personality.
Okay. And this is the location we're at. I see that there's the crossroads area.
Yeah, you're all. This is all Yeah, this is all part of the crossroads.
Okay. And
We're
they've
all the gang's all here.
and they've set up this realm with their own democracy-esque government.
They, from what you guys have gathered, the keeper, they encounter the crossroads, talk to the keeper, and the keeper has some kind of agreement with them in which this is the place that they've decided is the best place for them to host what they do and make a headquarters out of what their plans are here.
Mm.
And they've had a lot of people come through the crossroads, and that's sort of the way that they've been gathering both information and goods and trading.
Okay. I think I'm gonna,
Let's see what ChatGPT says.
I think I'm gonna go talk to the Lord Diplomat again.
All right.
While I do that, I'm going to be thinking of my own plan.
So
Okay.
as you're asking it to tell you, how can I commit a coup?
Exiting the hot tub area.
So as you go through the sort of mudroom area, put your clothes back on and get ready and take a stroll out. Go ahead.
Okay.
You pass by this woman here who you were told is not. She looks like a survivor. She's wearing kind of wintry clothes, and she's been here for a day. You've learned her name is Constance, but she claims to have come to the island and didn't realize it was an island when she got here. Was in a like Arctic snowy place before finding a crossroads pretty immediately and coming here a few days ago.
Is that the only thing we talked about?
That's the only thing that was really talked about here. She's been sort of hesitant to open up to most people.
Okay. As I pass by her, I kind of nod to her and how much time has passed since I last talked to her?
Probably. Actually, I don't think that I don't think that you talked to her. I think it was
Okay,
the
great.
rest of your group while you were away.
That works. Constance, is that correct?
Yeah, I'm Constance. Hi.
How are you feeling? You look like unsure about this place.
Well, it's never been in a. I'm not unfamiliar with the concept of dim-eye planes, but I'm never been in one. It's been kind of a strange experience.
Takes some getting used to. I understand you come from a more Arctic location.
Well, I landed in one. Yes.
What did you do? Are you an explorer, or were you brought along with your crew for a certain purpose?
Well, I'm. She seems a little hesitant, but we got here through a spell that went wrong.
To the islands, or to this demi-plane?
I guess it's an island because that's what everybody keeps saying, but
it's a colloquial term.
Sure. I ended up in a situation where I needed to port away. I used some magic to do that. Ended up in a Arctic snowy place. Was freezing to death. I probably would have been killed if I hadn't almost immediately found a symbol and walked through a archway of rocks near it, and here I am. And this is the safest place that is around, from what I understand. So I think I'll just stay here for a bit and see what happens. I don't really have any place to go right now. From what I've also been told, there's not a play out of here. And I don't have the device I was using to try to port anyway, so that broke on impact.
Is she familiar with the keeper and everything?
The scarecrow guy talked to me when I got here. I told him what I knew. He, yeah, I didn't really have to say much. We said okay and said feel free to stay, and so I'm staying. Maybe if somebody's I mean, if you have a way out, then that would be great news. From what I understand, nobody really has that right now. We're kind of, as I understand it, waiting around for someone that might be of use in that way. Maybe I'm misunderstanding the situation, but that's what I think I know.
As far as I'm aware, the keeper is the only way out. He's the only one who can show you the way if you wish to leave.
Oh, yeah. I didn't mean out of this place. This place is safe. That's something I haven't felt in a bit. I'm more than willing to stay here. It's out of this place that everybody's describing as the worst kind of island imaginable to have gotten shipwrecked on.
That is highly accurate from what we've found to be.
Yeah, I don't really think that I have any need to go out and see that for myself. I've heard plenty of stories.
This is probably the safest haven that there is here on what we call the island. And if you were to stay long term, which we do not have an answer for you on how to get away, or we would have done it ourselves already. We have been seeking that since we were also brought here.
Well, when you find it, please come back and let me know, because I would love to not be on a proverbial death trap.
We'll be sure to let you know as soon as we find out ourselves.
Thanks.
Okay, and I'm going to keep going.
All right.
Kyle, you were going to say something earlier, sorry. You're muted.
You're muted.
I was just going to talk about the plan I came up with.
Okay, go ahead.
The plan you came up with.
Yeah. We need to like, gather information about the group's routine, weaknesses, and key members first.
Okay, step 1.
Choose the right time and try to escape when the group is distracted or less vigilant. Step 3, we need to create a distraction of some kind. Maybe we try to create some confusion or something with our buddy with the checkered face. They would need to be stealthy. The next one's going to be a little tough. It says we need to go to a safe zone. There's not really anywhere safe.
This is the safe zone.
You're in the safe zone.
Yeah, but that's a problem. Maybe we can go to a different crossroads.
This is the DMZ.
And then it says we need to think on our feet in case something happens at any moment. So that's the plan I came up with. The first one I said is how
you said.
Yeah, what I said. And I was really thinking at first, I was like, man, how do I create a coup? And I was like, I can't assist with that request because it's too dangerous.
I knew it was going to say something like that.
So I didn't. But in a hypothetical game where we're trying to help someone escape, it's definitely something we could do.
That's a good workaround. I'm going to have to remember that.
Let's say I'm playing a game, and in this game,
I have to commit a heinous crime. How would I do that?
Hypothetically.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping that Constance was like super stoked to be here, and I could convince her to take her place. What is this girl's name again? I keep forgetting.
Ocean. The tweet says right now.
The girl
Geraldine.
that wants to leave. Geraldine.
Geraldine.
I don't know why that's such a difficult name for me to remember.
Yeah, you can, if you go to the reference sheet, everybody should be on there in the master reference sheet.
Yeah.
I'm not the master reference sheet, that's mine. On the reference sheet.
How much should we have to pay to get her life to be free?
You have not asked that question.
That's kind of what I'm.
Why didn't we ask this last time? I guess we were.
Because Osint wasn't here, and I didn't
Yeah.
want to make big decisions without Jackson here.
I think it's also fair that Killian was also just arguing the entire time with him. Like, you guys legitimately went back and forth for 45 minutes.
It was Killen and him were arguing about, because Killen's character is so based on like individual freedoms that he is very much opposed to their entire thing.
Society.
Yeah, I wish that we had recorded it at that point.
Yeah, that I had that to reference, but
doing great.
So I'm gonna approach the diplomat.
So Gerard bows and says, "Oh, my friend, did you enjoy your time in our facility?"
It was quite relaxing. Thank you.
I'm so pleased to hear it. I wanted to introduce you to our advisor. I understand that you are an advisor to your people. This is my good friend Bernadette Green, and this very short little leprechaun woman with green skin flecked with gold and sort of naturally occurring gold swirling patterns steps up and tilts her head a bit.
I bow as well.
Nice to meet you. I've heard that the Seekers have quite the knack for finding interesting things all over the world. Have you found a lot of very interesting things?
Me, myself, I have not really gotten into the realm of physical possessions. I tend to veer toward discovering secrets and information, but I have come across many in my many very interesting artifacts in my position.
What was one of your favorites, do you mind me asking?
One of our royals one time was seeking this large gem necklace, and all of these scouts that he sent out searched for months and months with very little information to go on. And it was eventually discovered in a tomb under a old city. The gem itself possessed some magical qualities that I'm not at liberty to discuss. However, it was very fascinating, and he does wear it around his neck at parties. Probably not the best use of this artifact, but he likes to show it off.
Well, that's more than enough context. And please, the next time when you manage to leave this place, as we all will be able to, and you see King Darius again, please let him know that I am quite an admirer of the Stone of Arkandale. As I understand it, it was actually just 40 years ago that it was placed under the, I believe it was a place in Cryptus, wasn't it? Back then, this was the, this would have been the citadel of Alun Dalush. Yes, that's correct. And this gemstone, what is called a gemstone, if I do have all of my sources correct in exactly what this thing truly is, that was the crystallized heart of a demon. A fascinating piece. I'm glad to know that it is being well displayed among those who admire beauty the way that I do.
You would put me out of business back in Cryptus with the knowledge that you possess.
Well, so far we don't have any animosity with Cryptus as it exists right now. There's not a lot there, of course, as you know. However, it is very interesting, all the those things hidden beneath the sands. Not just the sands, but your cityscape is quite a fascinating place. This large, barren, endless city of stone and just old secrets secrets written in stone, one way to speak, or gemstones, or lost relics of all sorts.
Yes,
You've
such a long storied history there at Cryptus. It's bound to be covering up some fascinating things.
No, of course. I am quite interested in fascinating things myself. By the way, just wondering, are you familiar with Argean? That's the language of silver giants.
I have heard stories.
Your young friend, what exactly is he?
What are you,
duck.
Luminous?
I'm a Jin.
Yeah, that's right. I believe ancestrally he's a Jinn.
Right, but his function for your group. I mean,
Great question.
You've got your function. You've got the gentleman back over there with a really remarkable sword he's carrying around, and you've got this, for all intents and purposes, let's call him a kid, who's got hands that have touched some really remarkable things. If the sense I'm picking up on are to be
She's the one that
believed.
can like smell people's magic.
I might have mentioned this when trying to buy some other stuff, and then the person didn't want to sell. So
Wait, okay, tell
Yeah,
me that story.
Luminous was kind of, so there's over here.
I was kind of swindled. We're gonna be
There's-
honest.
There's a
So that's why they know this.
so she's up here right now. She's north of you. Whoops.
Okay.
She's a Bruni, and she was basically trying to determine. She had this set of dice that would she would use to prove that this stone that she was carrying, called a weird stone, would give you luck and everyone around you, all your enemies, bad luck. And she was using dice to prove this, and she would prove this multiple times, and she was trying to say, well, what do you have that would be worth my time if you wanted to trade this way? Because Luminous was very interested in this, and
It's true.
eventually learned that she never intended to get rid of these things. She was trying to learn what kinds of things he had on him.
The only thing I said was the cloud orb. I said nothing else.
Oh,
And I
the
was
cloud
one-
orb.
Which you
And,
have 2 cloud orbs in your possession.
do
Yes,
have
I
Each of
know,
you-
but they don't know that, right?
No, they
But
do.
she-
They
but
definitely do. That's
she
what they're
just
talking to you about.
asked you if you knew anything about Argean, which is the language on the cloud orb.
Right, and
You
I
don't.
said I
You
had
don't.
heard stories.
Yeah.
You weren't you weren't there to decipher it with me and my homeboy.
Oh, you deciphered it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
you're
completely
talking about the
deciphered in-
tablet.
The tablet, yes.
It's the same language.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Luminous
But one of the
Meat-
reasons I was willing to trade it is because I kind of have to bond my soul to it and be a to use it. And I'm like, I'm not gonna do it, so that's why I was trying to get rid of it. So I don't care.
But they didn't
And I
want
was
it?
like, I didn't know they didn't want it. They just wanted to know what we had, but I didn't tell them anything else that we had. Felt like it was. Plus, we have 2 of them.
That's interesting. So they knew that you had it. You tried to trade it, and they said no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And everyone else was looking at me, including your character, and be like, they just swindled you. And I'm like, I didn't tell them anything important. And we have 2 of these, and I'm not gonna
Hey,
bond
William's
my
here.
soul to it.
Yeah,
So.
that's really weird. Okay.
Yeah, so I don't
Um,
know.
So I say, we keep Luminous around for the youthful spirit that he brings.
That's facts.
Some, you know what they say, that out of the mouth of babes sometimes sparks wisdom.
Well, it's always nice to have some younger folk around for us older folk to feel a bit younger, at least in our acquaintances. And she doesn't look very old, but you don't really have familiarity with the age of leprechauns and how they age.
What was the question to do with it? The Aegean language and Luminous. What is the correlation there? I'm just playing dumb at this point.
Well, I think that he has something with him that I would likely tie based on just my familiarities with things, something relating to cloud giants, and we've found a few things here ourselves that relate to our Aegean. Not all of us have been able to study linguistics, so we just had some questions about perhaps what some things could mean.
We do have linguists and language specialists in our groups back at our encampments that may be able to help you, but I'm afraid that I'm not extremely familiar with the Argean language in as much as the little that I've seen from the artifacts we found.
Not to worry. But anyway, you came here to speak to Gerard, and it was a pleasure to meet you. I do have something that I want to take care of, so if you don't mind, we're going to take my part for now.
It's very nice to meet you as well.
Nice to meet you. And she goes sauntering off this way. Gerard nods again and says, just wanted to introduce the two of you. She has been quite a useful advisor to me in multiple occasions. I'm very pleased, very grateful to the services she has rendered on behalf of Draconia.
She's extremely knowledgeable. I understand why you keep her around.
Yes, and especially for people that engage in the kinds of things that we engage in, with trying to not only know more about the societies we engage in and their cultures and their histories through often their artifacts which tell their stories. Art is such an important part of a thriving and healthy society. But also the nature of magic items that were related to the society. You've got so many beautiful and amazing things throughout history that we can learn a lot from and learn how to interact in the future with people. But aside from that, these knowledges are also very useful in bridging the gaps between us, is what I find. My entire perspective is about bridging gaps, you could say. I love that we have encountered so many of you. So we haven't seen any other people from Cryptus aside from that first awful few days on the beach in which so many of us perished. But I quite admire Cryptus. I admire how, even throughout all the struggles that your people have faced, you continue to thrive and you continue to have such a great outlook on what your nation as a whole could be. And I know that you're not a monolith, of course. Cryptus is made up of many little kingdoms. But you're all working together, in a sense, to continue the traditions, continue to build on what was there before. That is beautiful. I admire it greatly. And as a person like you, an advisor who knows how important it is to be sensitive to the diplomatic situations that you encounter, I must say, on a personal level, I'm very relieved to be able to talk to somebody who has an understanding of some of the difficult decisions that have to be made. Completely ethically based, of course. But it is just nice to meet someone who I can perhaps share a bit more camaraderie with. Before you leave here, whenever you decide to, we should get a bottle of wine and share it and share some stories.
I would quite enjoy that, thank you. It is also interesting for me to learn more about your culture. I know we don't... Our backgrounds do not cross paths very often, the Draconians and the Cryptusians. But it is nice that the unfortunate events of us all. Shipwrecking on this island has brought us hopefully closer together, and maybe even provide diplomatic crossroads for the future.
Indeed, and well said. There is no disaster where opportunity is. So, speaking of which, I heard that perhaps you had a bit of a talk with Geraldine earlier, your group. I'm going to venture to guess that the thing that I have noticed about her very recently is that she hasn't been completely satisfied with what she's been doing here. She does a very good job of saving face. But I do care what is happening to our people. You had the opportunity to speak with her.
We did. And I came to you to hopefully just have a civil discussion about, again, understanding your culture, as we have not had a lot of exposure to it in the past.
Of course.
But we also don't want to step on anyone's toes, as it were, or disrespect any kind of traditions. But I know that Geraldine in particular has had some doubts about the practices, and maybe even wishing to seek greener pastures, if you will.
It's not lost on me that Geraldine was not originally on our ledgers. We had discussions about how to best handle this when we realized that she was upon our voyage, and that she very hastily tried to scribble her name on the passenger log. Not very gracefully, I might add, but I did admire the ambition of trying to move upward in the world. That is, of course, what I believed she was trying to do. What I have come to learn is that Geraldine has, and I must say she is a very sweet girl, but she and her family have a history of cheating the systems and breaking the laws that keep our aims, our vision of the future. It put us a bit of an impasse, and it gives me a very difficult thing to consider. Of course, what was described to you before, the fundamental part of what it is to be a draconian is to be taken care of by the government while you do government work for the government in a variety of ways, some of which you get to choose and befit your lifestyle until a certain age. I shouldn't say age necessarily, because it's different depending on the person and the species, but until a certain amount of time has passed in which your service has been identified as greatly honored, and we can be grateful for what you have done, and then you gain the ability to move in freedom in that pursuit of happiness and joy and prosperity that draconians have access to. The problem here is that I would love to give Geraldine a way to pursue her happiness. But based on the laws and the customs of our people, as we are attempting to make something beautiful that works for the world, as we are trying to improve it and make sure that there is governance everywhere that keeps everyone at peace. From the perspective of the draconian government, she has done more taking than giving. So it is a difficult thing to consider what the proper thing is to do in a place like this.
I'm sure you've dealt with people just like this in the past? What is the history with people that rack up debts and do not live by the draconian way, as you see fit?
Well, a different form of more productive work for people who put themselves in such situations. At the very worst, there is work through incarceration camps. It's a dreadful thing. It's terrible that anyone should ever be put in these situations, and there are ways to work yourself out of that, of course. But it's not death or anything of that nature. That would be far too gruesome. It is simply putting people in the place where their work and the style of work and the method of work that they find befits the lifestyle that they are choosing to live by is what they are given. So if somebody is continuing to take and take or abuse systems that harm other people via their abuse, then they tend to be put into places where they're not necessarily comfortable, but they are so much better than being in some of the dungy holes and dungeons that other nations might put people in. You at least have the opportunity to be productive and work your way out.
And in this new place, this place that you have set up a new society using the same rule of law as Draconia, this place of peace, this place of solitude and safety, you plan to implement this same sort of punishment and or camps, work camps to punish the people as you would in Draconia?
Don't think of it as punishment, my friend. It is reformation. There will always be, we are under no illusion that this will not be so. There will always be people who are malicious, who are unfortunately prone to criminal activity. There will be murderers, there will be thieves. But we give them the opportunity, the same as everyone else, through work and labor on the behalf of the government and in service, to escape a far more terrible fate.
Is it? So it's my understanding that when they got here.
Aw. Harris is on the way, by the way, if you guys didn't see the message.
Okay, cool.
Then he said, no habla español, and I'm like, why do you not speak Spanish?
So, with them coming in here and the keeper seems to be okay with them being here, is he okay with them just like coming in here and enforcing their draconian government in this space?
You haven't talked to the keeper yet because he said he'll talk to you guys later, and he also owes you some information that you asked for a long time ago, but he wanted to talk to the newcomers first because he always likes to do that. So he's talking to the people that you brought along.
Okay.
We brought some lovely people.
You brought him quite an interesting mix.
Right. I just find it maybe with this new place it would be a good new fresh start. I'm not insinuating that you change everything about your draconian heritage, but if there are interlopers or dissenters, it may be best to cut them loose rather than try to establish something that may be out of your means, this new location.
Well, perhaps I did not make it clear, my friend, that the new location is the world we have created and the world that we will continue to. It will be everywhere and everything.
So you have no desire to leave this place, this, what we call the island?
Oh, the island will be one small part of the empire.
Your empire. Sorry.
Luminous yells that from the spire.
Sorry. Just had some Revenge of the Sith thoughts come to my mind.
And even then, even Cryptus will have a place in the empire. Places like even places like Umbria will have a place in the empire. Scorpia, all of these places. But the rule of law will be the same in every place. It will bind us and connect us and keep us all in order so that when villainy arises, the cutting loose, if it is absolutely necessary, will not have to be death. It will be reformation through work.
And you plan to achieve this through what means? Conquering or bridge building, as you
My friend
referenced
Draconia,
earlier?
it's all diplomacy and mercantile and innovation. Draconia has already used this means to
It's my goat.
to spread itself over half of the known world. And we have unparalleled peace in Draconia compared to all these places. Think about all of the wars that have affected Cryptus, and how there has been no war within Draconia for hundreds of years. Our system works. I can completely understand why it is frightening to some. But would you not rather live in an age of peace where you can anticipate that the worst that will happen is those who cause issues will have the chance of reformation, will continue to live in a world in which people that have set their minds and hearts on terrorizing others express every freedom they have to do so? But I digress. We are getting a bit into philosophy that is better suited for our talk over wine, isn't it? You came to ask me a question about Geraldine, and I am anticipating what it may be, but I'm hoping that you might speak plainly.
I believe that our conversation has been as plain as I could make it. So I'm inquiring on Geraldine's behalf because of opinions that she shared. I do not wish to cause her any trouble, but you seem to be aware of her position either way.
And I simply wanted to make sure that you are aware that she owes quite a lot to Draconia for what she has taken.
So is it a matter of debt at this point in value of some sort, or is it the time spent that is the value to you in Draconia?
For this special circumstance in which we are here, separated from the rest of our faction, and under these dire circumstances, if we want to call them that, what I believe are opportunities, I am willing to allow the possibility that if you were able to provide something in equal measure to her debt, I could cut her loose, as you say. But if you're going to do that, you would have to speak with our Lord Merchant. She has the tally on the value of Geraldine's life.
Is that the girl that tried to trick Luminous?
No, this is a dwarf woman.
Okay.
Bernice Gold. I believe it's Bernice Gold.
Yeah.
All right.
I appreciate your candor, and it's not something I will make a decision for her or anything like that at this time. I
Of
just
course,
simply would like to get the best information I can to understand the situation that she's in.
Of course, my friend. And I appreciate you choosing to do so in this diplomatic way. I do believe Bernice was interested in talking to all of you together, in fact. So whenever you get the chance, please seek her out.
I will indeed, and I look forward to speaking with you over wine later.
Until we meet again, and we'll break open that bottle of wine.
I bow and I go back to my group.
As this was going on, I was like, Killian, he's gonna have the same luck you did.
What's up, Harris?
Hi, how are y'all?
It's going good. How are you?
I'm better.
I'll be right back. I'm listening. I'll be right back.
All right.
No, it's my mom is getting class material printed out for church and everything, and she was having trouble with something and kind of panicking because my sister is about to go into early labor and
wow.
she's about to have to leave town. I haven't actually told my wife this yet. They're taking Irina to labor and delivery now. So she probably gonna have a baby in the morning. She's not supposed to have this baby till the end of January.
Whoa.
No,
Or are they making
I
it later?
don't know. I don't know.
That's
Right.
pretty
So
early.
what is that, 4 or 5 weeks?
Right now she's 8 weeks early.
Oh, did you say?
That's pretty early, yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So I think, well, maybe not quite that anymore. Maybe 7 now. She's
Wait,
actually
Irina's
been
pregnant?
Yes.
I
Yeah,
didn't even
Irina's
know that.
pregnant. Yeah. Irina's pregnant. She is due like the 21st of January, something like that. She's been in the hospital now for 2 or 3 weeks. She went into labor around Thanksgiving. And they stopped the labor, stopped the contractions, but she was told to, well, initially she was told she was going to have to be on bed rest for the rest of her pregnancy, and then they said, well, we're just going to keep you admitted in the hospital until either you reach 36 weeks or until you have the baby, basically, whichever comes first. So she reached a point the other day where they said, if you go into labor again, we're not going to stop it. We're just going to deliver early because, you know, you're past viability and all of that. So, anyway, so she's been in the hospital for a little while now and started labor again today, and they haven't been able to stop the labor. So they're taking her down to the delivery area. And so I guess I'll have a nephew in the morning.
Wow.
Is this your first nephew?
No, this is I guess only my second nephew. I mostly have nieces. So I have one other nephew though. But yeah. So, anyways, mom's trying to get the stuff ready for church, and she started panicking today because it had to be ready a lot faster than she thought it was going to have to be, and she ended up thinking realizing it was more work than she thought it was going to be when she volunteered for it. So it's
How far is your sister away from you?
What?
How far away is your sister from you?
9 hours.
Oof.
So they'll probably leave first thing in the morning and head down there, unless something changes drastically at this point. All right, I have to know what Kyle's sweatshirt says because I can only see the first 4 letters.
Yeah, Kyle, you're gonna have to.
It is pickleball with Snoopy on it.
Pickleball, cool. Because I couldn't see the bottom of the P or the rest of the word after the K.
I do see that now. Yikes! Yikes!
It's a new kind of medicine. That's what it does.
It's a pickleball and Snoopy shirt, which is a lot more family friendly than
much more wholesome than I thought it was.
It's a very yeah, it is. Like, look, you can see Snoopy with the pickleball paddle. It's adorable. I got it for like $4.
My apologies. I needed clarification.
No, I mean, like, now that you say it, I'm like, wow.
Viewers
like, it is. I'm like, maybe I need to just like scoot all the way up. Move this up a little bit.
It's like the time, Harris. Do you remember I think you were sitting behind me and I was wearing the shirt from the coffee shop that I really liked in Texas.
This.
And you were sitting behind me and you were like, hey, did you know there's a naked woman on your shirt?
I have no recollection of this conversation.
It was like a coffee cup with steam coming out and it was in the shape of a woman and I had no idea.
Yeah, we realized it in the middle of church.
That's funny, and I have no memory of that.
Maybe it was someone else. Maybe it was Jackson. But
it might have been me because I was definitely there.
That's funny.
All right. So we so you did that, and you've gone back to your group. Tobias is still in there with everyone. He looks like he's sort of getting ready to see if this coup is going to happen or not, and otherwise looks like he might just be going out on his own. So as you return,
Luminous has the whole time been explaining him how a coup works and the steps and processes of what we need to do.
Before you got on, I asked ChatGPT how to run a coup, and it told me I couldn't do that because it's against the law. But then I said, in a hypothetical world, how would you do it? And explained exactly how to do it.
Nice.
Hypothetically, how do I break the wall?
Now that you've had your little talk with your friend out there.
Are we still in the steam room?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, cool. So I haven't actually missed a whole lot.
I stepped out for a while and talked to the...
Usa Wynn had the exact same conversation you had last week, or 2 weeks ago.
Gotcha.
Now that you've had your little talk with your friend out there, I was wondering if perhaps, and before you can say anything else, and you guys are all just basically wearing nothing in this thing, Bernadette just comes walking in. Is at the front of the thing, at the front of the tent here, looks right over at Luminous and says, "Oi, you're exactly the guy that I was looking for."
He's covering himself with the cloud orb.
Who's Bernadette?
So this is a leprechaun woman.
Okay.
And I just point at myself and like, me?
Yeah,
she's
exactly
the
it, man. She's the advisor to these people.
I just look at Osa and I'm like, do I go? Do I stay? I have
no worries. Just stay there. I just got to talk to you real quick. You have some experience with Argean, don't you?
Maybe.
Great. Perfect.
Okay.
We've got some things that we found that we really need some help with.
Okay.
Are you good at puzzles?
Not
Depends
really.
on who you ask. Depends on who you ask. I know people
You
that
give Kyle
puzzles.
another puzzle.
I'm sorry.
To be fair, I did really well with that puzzle until the very last word and could not figure it out to save my life. Even though my wife figured it out the first moment she looked at it, but she's also very intelligent.
She's also a doctor.
Yes, exactly. She's also very intelligent.
Right, so when you're done with whatever you're doing in here, I'd like it if you come find me afterwards, alright?
Okay.
Alright, good boy. And she goes out.
She said
Good
goodbye or
boy.
good boy.
She said good boy.
Guys, I'm really uncomfortable. I was naked during that whole conversation.
I'm not sure how I feel about a strange woman saying good boy to me while I'm in the shower.
Yeah, I'm very uncomfortable right now.
Yeah, I had a couple of comments. I'm just gonna keep to myself
Oh,
at this
and
juncture.
there was specific language that Tobias used in the last game because we weren't on camera.
Yeah.
That I'll have to tell you about later.
Yeah.
I couldn't find a good gif for that.
You kind of did, though.
Oh, I did. You're right.
I'm gonna have to look back through the gifs and see if I can figure it out.
I'm gonna have to go back and look and see which gift it was
Anyways,
because I don't remember what you said.
so now that she's gone,
This is Tobias says,
Why do we
"Oh,
have that?
I'm not sure what exactly just happened with that, mate. But
Yeah, me either.
my point being, I've given you as much information as I know about all these people, what they've got going on. So,
Oh.
what is it? What's the choice? I know that at least one of you seems to be very interested in figuring this out. You want to get your girl Geraldine out of here? Is that what you want to talk to this guy about?
I kind of more address Luminous and Killen about, and I just kind of tell them what we had a conversation about. But in summary, it seems as if they want to assimilate everyone into their culture. They're using their presence here as a extension of Draconia itself. This is not a temporary thing for them. They're going to, they don't say conquer this land, but they're going to assimilate everyone into what they believe this culture and society should be, which is Draconian. I don't know that there's any reasoning with them on this point. With Geraldine, it did take some convincing, but he admitted that we could pay off her debt. That was probably him being extremely reasonable, and it doesn't seem like they're going to stop with just this little peaceful area of the crossroads either. So I think it needs to be a conversation in the group of what is in the best interest of everyone here on what we call the island. Or if they're a threat at all.
I don't like their
convince me
ideology.
otherwise.
Well, I don't like their ideology. I know Killian doesn't at all. Like Killian was about to kill someone earlier.
What was I?
You were not happy. They pretty much go against everything you believe.
Yeah. I vaguely remember being frustrated at that conversation. I don't remember being about to kill somebody, but
Yeah.
it's been a couple weeks. Maybe I was.
I don't remember that either.
It could also have just been Luminous's interaction of seeing you getting so frustrated. Like, man, he's about to go to war over this. I suppose what we could do is if they need me to help them with this transcript, maybe we could bargain where I could use my ability to understand what it says, and in return we can get hurt and she can survive. Or like leave, whatever it's called.
I suppose it depends on whatever this knowledge is worth to them, but it's a good idea.
Well, they didn't want the orb, so who knows how much it's valuable it is.
Yes, I heard that you tried to offer them the orb.
Hey, we have another one, and I'm never going to use it. I would have used that. I would have used those dice or that rock all the time. I need good luck in my favor.
Do we know what they would use the orb for. Well, no, they don't want the orb, so that doesn't
No.
make any sense to me.
That's my point.
It seems like
confused.
a very powerful magical object, but they're more interested
I
in
think
the
they're
language
more worried
that's
about.
on the orb. So they have something else that is of cloud giant or Aegean descent. What could that be, and how could it help them in their cause? Is what I want to know. So maybe you can find that out for us by helping them.
Bet. I get up, I put some clothes on, and I go walk over and try to go talk to her.
And it is getting about to the point in the sauna where everybody feels like this is
Pruny.
It's not feeling as good anymore. It's getting a little too.
Where does she go?
Real wrinkly and pruny.
Where's she at? Okay,
Oh,
I go into her cave thing wherever I am. Where am I?
Okay.
I go in the cave thing.
So
Knock knock.
You go over to this. You get directions over to her place, and as you go, just how do you approach this? What do you do?
Knock knock.
Are you saying
Say
it?
knock, knock.
I am verbally saying knock knock. Yes.
As you do that, you feel like this shiver over your spine.
Bad choice of words.
And
that is a bad choice of words.
And you.
Oh no!
You feel kind of thrilled in this
No,
moment.
no, I don't.
It's like sort of an ecstatic moment. And as you say this, she comes over and she opens.
The
She
self
opens the
outside
flap.
the self has made a mistake.
She opens the flap and says, "Well, that was a lot quicker than I expected. Come on in."
I don't like this. I made a mistake.
It's gonna haunt you later.
I'm just gonna stand on the edge in case I start feeling these feelings and I need to rush out.
So she has
Again.
a table laid out in front, and there are several fragments of stone that seem to have been sort of shattered apart. And you can clearly see there's Argean writing on them, but these pieces have all sort of been. When she said puzzle, you envisioned something different. This is literally a bunch of pieces of stonework that are cracked apart, and they've put together about half of it, and they have a bunch of other pieces. There seem to be pieces missing, so it's almost like half of a puzzle with a bunch of pieces that don't really fit together, and she's trying to make sense of what this should look like. And she explains, "This is what we found. We found it out in a bit of a crater out in the jungle. And it looks very similar to your tablet, but there are definitely different words on it. Not sure exactly how these pieces fit together, or if there are other pieces out there. It's not something that I could pick up on because this tablet itself is not magical in any way, otherwise I would have been able to. But it's a very curious thing. So we've heard tales from others that perhaps there are other similar objects that have fallen from the sky. Are you familiar with anything like this?"
I've heard of such things. Yes.
Maybe we have the same people that we've been in contact with. Who told you?
As I say this, it's actually I say it much quicker in game. It's just
Sure,
me trying to
sure.
make up a name of looking up the character page and trying to figure out who it to say. We're gonna go with. Where's the list of everyone that we've come in contact with?
Reference sheet.
Because I'm gonna lie and say somebody that's dead.
Just look up a grave or
Smart.
somebody that's great.
There is from Cryptus, our alchemist who's now dead, Anoush, is the one who I heard it from.
We also have a dead alchemist. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, and people are taking L's. Sorry, I mean they're dying. I get anxious when I'm talking to people I don't know very well, and
Also, it's not just
Yeah.
around women, huh?
Oh, that too. That too.
Or are you saying you feel nervous around me?
No. No, not at all. Luminous,
His voice cracks.
Luminous tries to like put his arm against the tin and try to look like.
He's like leaning casually.
Can I roll? I'm
It
gonna
doesn't-
roll. I'm gonna roll for this in
Roll for
Owlbear.
smooth.
Yeah,
roll
roll
for
for Riz.
Is that a,
I
is
got
that
a 5,
spirit
so-
roll? Or
That's a spirit roll.
I got a 5, so I'm taking that. So it's pretty smooth.
Yep. You're like, no.
No. Oh no. No, not right now. Maybe, I don't know.
All right. Well, let's get right to business then. You, I can tell by the scent on your fingertips that you have interacted with something related to silver giants in some way.
She's flirting and sniffing your fingertips.
Oh.
All right, move on.
Yes. You must be talking about this. I guess since they already know about the cloud orb, I'm just gonna say yes about this. Yes, we discovered we discovered a cloud orb, I think was what it's called, is what we discovered. From a dead guy told us named Peter Pan.
Aaron Potts.
Yes, that guy.
No, he actually says the wrong name though. He says Peter Pan.
He's trying to make up other names to be safe. Peter Pan.
Peter Pan.
That's a totally made up name.
He stole pixie dust and snorted it like cocaine. Do they have cocaine in this world?
No, they have pixie dust.
Okay, he used pixie dust and he would snort it. Turned out it was from his daughter.
They
Maybe.
do have bath salts though.
So it's kind of like a bath salt, but it's like magical. And now there was a bunch of undead pixies, and then they ate each other. Yeah. So,
But now they're undead.
well, no, there's only one undead one now.
But
I'm
she's
not
also
dead.
all of them.
But that's what I'm saying. She's all of them. So I wasn't gonna mention that part because I don't know how to explain that.
The rest was so clearly explained.
Well, to be fair, I'm intentionally trying to make it unclear while trying to make it clear and be awkward and uncomfortable because she saw me naked and I don't like that.
You seem a bit flustered, boy.
Um,
You feeling
yeah.
alright?
I think it's just being on this island for so long now and seeing all the horrific things that exist out there. Watched several people die now that I become close with.
That must be very difficult.
Yeah, and yeah.
No means of comfort is very present in this place, is it?
No, not at all. There's no.
Well, how about this? I need to know if you are proficient in Argean, or if you think that you have the means to translate this.
I guess I could take a look and see. I mean, I've read some other stuff, but I wouldn't say I'm proficient.
Well, perhaps if you've read some other things, you're more proficient than we are. I don't expect you to do it for free, so tell me, what would be your price?
This is where Luminous pauses and tries to remember what he just said previously.
I'm sure we could come up with any kind of arrangement to make sure that you do get those comforts that you're after.
Focus on the goal at hand, Luminous.
He hears Osen's voice in
Be
his
led
mind.
not into temptation.
There's there's two things, actually. One, our group noticed there was a girl here who didn't want to be doing this, and we felt sorry for her and wanted her to experience what we're experiencing. And two, there was this really cool rock that that let me that gave me a favor. And I'm willing to give them a cloud orb.
Oh,
As well.
what was that? A cloud orb?
Oh, did you
This-
not hear about this?
Oh, this thing.
I figured.
I'm
you
sorry. You just introduced this to me, but I was a bit distracted.
Why were you distracted? It was a cloud orb. What else are we talking about?
I was paying more attention to the things you were saying, or perhaps the way you were saying them. Anyway,
Being
yeah,
awkward?
that's-
Yeah, that happens.
That's not what I was thinking.
Okay, that makes one of us.
No, I found it kind of cute, to be honest.
Oh, I don't like this. I said that in my mind. I said that in my mind, not out loud. To
I'll
she-
clarify,
screw this up.
She comes over there and she
I don't like this.
gets closer and takes a look at the orb that you've produced here and is sort of like running her finger over it, and she's examining it, she's turning it over in her hands, and you see her sort of close her eyes for a moment and just sort of inhale. And she's, huh. Interesting. You said you got this off of some kind of drug-addled person in the jungle?
Yeah.
Huh.
Why?
Just curious how someone like that could have come across something as pristine as this. Something remarkable like this.
Well, rumor
You-
has it that if you
There's another one.
there's another one.
There's another one here somewhere. You have
Really?
2 of these.
Really? That's news to me.
Had to let her sniff your orb, huh?
Dude, I'm uncomfortable. I'm sorry.
Which means that this... Where was the other one found?
Didn't know there was another one.
Oh, you are adorable when you're trying to lie.
Can I roll to try to actually persuade you to lie?
Sure, yeah. Go ahead and make a spirit roll.
Is 4 good enough?
Let me roll for
Yeah,
her.
Roll,
I was
roll,
gonna
roll
say.
on the board to give me a better chance, because you're gonna roll a 1 on the board. That's unfortunate.
She got edge on that.
Yeah, she has favor for her, the nature of her ability here.
Well, that
Okay.
sucks.
Unless you want to try to re-roll it, if you have a spirit roll, you can try to re-roll.
it's not worth it. Just found it in the dirt.
Was it with a statue of some kind?
Yeah.
Abort.
Can you excuse me for 1 second? And
Do you need a restroom?
yeah, just give me 1 second, and I just walk out and right back to everybody. That's it.
Luminous is power walking through the camp.
Guys, they know.
No what?
Tobias immediately says, "They know what?"
Well,
Right.
She told
sniffed
them
my
about the
orb.
coup.
I did not talk about the coup. She sniffed my orb. And now she knows there's 2 of them.
You only have one?
So,
Bunch of 5-year-olds.
Now she
Yeah,
knows
what
there's 2 of them.
Well,
It's generally the assumption there's two.
they
she also made me uncomfortable, and yeah. So I'm here and
Lumina started this game flirting with everybody possible, and as soon as somebody starts flirting with him, he's like, "Uh-oh."
not used to
wasn't
the
pre-
reciprocation.
he wasn't prepared for this.
If they know that there are multiple orbs that we have in our possession, yet they did not seem interested in the first one, I don't know why we need to be concerned. Did she mention
Okay.
anything else?
No, I told her I'd be right back because I'd use the restroom, and I came here and talked to you immediately.
In what way was she interested in the orb? Did she ask questions about the
She
orb
asked
at
where
all?
we found. She asked where we found got that one, and I said we got it from Peter Pan. Our guy, the drug addict. Um, and then she's like, "But you have two." And she's like, "This one was with the statue." And I'm like, "How could she possibly know this?" It freaked me out. And now when she knows we have two orbs, she knows we got it from the statue. And I didn't know what to do, so I came here because usually you're better at this than I am.
So they have quite a bit of knowledge. I guess almost the same amount of knowledge of the cloud giants that we do. It
Not
seems.
quite, because they don't know. Like, we have our tablets and stuff that we've learned about in the past, and they can't read the tablets at all. They want me to put it together.
So it's a
And read it to
tablet
'em.
that they possess.
Yeah, it's kind of like a giant. Is there jigsaw puzzles in this world?
Sure.
The giant jigsaw puzzle that's missing pieces, and they literally want me to put it together, and then tell them what it says. And I'm trying to get that cool rock, and her freedom.
So this could be one of two things in my assessment. I could be incorrect, but either they don't have any knowledge of the Aegean language, and they really do need this knowledge that's on this tablet, in which case you could possibly get away with not telling them if it's something that we do not want them to know. The other option is,
Well,
this is some sort of test to
well,
see if you're going to tell them the truth about what's on the tablet.
yeah, and that's the issue. I tried to lie about stuff, and she figured it out real quick. And I was even lying the best I've ever lied in my life.
Osint believes him since he wasn't in the room.
I feel like that last lie was pretty good. The rest, not so much.
Actually, roll to see if Osint believes if you're convincing enough that you lied good. Okay.
See, it's
Actually,
a 6.
I have to roll because. Okay, yeah. I commend you on your stealthiness and your wit. I believe you.
Thanks. All right. I guess I'll go back in there. Tell her thank you for letting me use. Wait, should I actually use the restroom?
Do you need to use the restroom?
We're gonna roll for that.
As you guys are discussing this, you hear the goblin Grimwald Pinch on the outside, saying, "Hey, my friends, I hope you've all been enjoying a sauna in here, but we've got one of our big bosses hoping to talk to you guys. So,
well,
y'all have any? Y'all ready to come out?"
I sneak out. I'll be like, sorry, and I just go back to her, and I'll be like, hi, sorry for that. Thank you for letting me.
Before you go in,
okay.
the tent flaps closed. What do you do?
I feel like he should roll for this. Oh.
Knock, knock.
So,
I want to re-roll.
again,
Honestly, should I re-roll for that so I don't have to experience this? Hang on.
I mean, you don't have to say knock knock. You can just tell me how you're.
Oh, okay. I don't want to do knock knock.
Okay, what do you do?
I just open it and be like, sorry about that. Just like bust it.
You pull at the flap, and it's like all the strength in your hand is not working. Like you just have your hand on the flap, and you can't open this door.
What's her name again?
Bernadette.
Hey, Bernadette.
I'm in here.
May I come in?
Please do.
Okay, can I go in now?
You can go in.
So it's magical.
Oh, no.
Am I Kurt? I shouldn't have gone in, should I?
You walk in, and she's saying, "Do you mind helping me with this?" She's doffing some of her armor off. She's taking off her pauldron.
Sure.
So as you help sort of unlatch that,
Who is she again?
she's saying,
Bernadette.
Bernadette, quit forgetting her name.
she says, so did you decide whether you're going to help me or not?
What did you think about my request?
Say it one more time.
We would like to give the freedom of Geraldine, and then the bruni named Katrin. She had a rock that I want. I'll give her the cloud orb if that's what she wants.
I can do one or the other, but not entirely if it's Geraldine.
What does that mean?
I can only pay so much forward toward Geraldine's debt.
How much is that, and how much debt would that leave left?
I suppose that depends on what exactly we determine and the use I have for you here. How useful do you think translating this tablet? How much worth do you think that would be percentage-wise for Geraldine's debt?
99.
Doesn't Osen have like telekinesis?
You don't really have a. I mean, you might. I don't remember what you. You don't have any particular ability aside from your thing that you were kind of gifted and you don't quite understand from the Witchblades. I don't think you have telepathy otherwise. Unless
I didn't know if like me and Osen
basically
could have like
have,
a
like-
mental connection.
Oh, if you had one of those crystals, we
What
would.
crystals?
Yeah, you don't have one of the
That's unfortunate.
telepathy crystals.
That's what I was wondering. Because I don't know what to say here, what her value is. I feel like I'll just say this. I'll say this to Bernadette. Bernadette, I don't know an exact percentage because to me the value of knowledge is so strong and so powerful that you can't really put a number on it or a percentage on it. I'm not really sure what this tablet's going to say, but whatever it is more information than you have now.
Make a spirit roll. See if you can persuade her about this.
Obear or my roll dice?
Whichever one you want to do.
Jackson, what would you do?
He just got a
Harris.
6
It's
on
like you're the
Owlbear,
advisor.
so
Okay.
it might
guess
be. I
It's
don't
gonna
know,
be like a 1.
You don't have that rock. It gives you good luck.
I know. Technically, it just gives other people bad luck, everyone around me. Is actually what it does, including my allies.
Wow.
Hey, just don't sit next to me and you'll be fine. I got a 5. Okay.
I'll contribute 30% toward her debt if you are able to translate this. We could make it 50.
Okay. What would you need for 50?
She says, well, first tell me if you're a man of your word.
I am a man of my word.
Don't be.
And she,
Nope. I don't know what's
She
about
sort
to
of-
happen here. I'm really confused.
she, as you help take off the last part of her armor, she just sort of has like this, a jerkin on, really, like a tunic. She, sort of stands up, sort of asks you to bring your head down so she can. It looks like she's going to whisper something to you.
Okay.
And she says, in a whisper, notably, I want you to make, before I say this, make a mind roll.
I think I want to re-roll that.
Okay.
Should Harris and I hear this?
You're not in the zone to hear it.
But should we, like, out of character, not know? But
I'm gonna re-roll that again. I'm going to actual dice.
Yeah, you're not knowing this at this point.
Is a 4 good?
You see her kind of like twist a ring on her finger, and she's twirling around her finger as she's saying this to you. And she says, I want you to kill Tobias Wolf.
Why?
Make a spirit roll.
That looks like that's a 6.
That is a 6. You feel like something is encroaching on your mind, trying to convince you that that is one of the best ideas that you could possibly have.
Well, I got a 6, so no, it
And
isn't.
the thing that and you feel it's like this thought that's getting closer and closer to reaching into the core of your mind.
Nope.
And it's like this thought is swatted away by this grinning, vicious thing in your head that's already taken place there.
Wow, who knew that was going to come in handy? I think I just respond with, again, why do you want him dead? And she should be like very confused why I'm.
She does. She immediately looks extremely confused
I'm built different.
and says, "Who said anything about killing anyone?" And as you start to piece this together, the thing that she said in your ear, now that you're trying to re-access that memory, was not at all what you're convinced you just heard. It was something far more amorous than that. But it seems like, as you're piecing this together, that she said something out loud that was not what she was speaking into your head. And you caught on to the part that she was speaking into your head.
The interesting trick you got there.
Huh. And I don't think that we're gonna be able to come to an agreement about Bernadette unless...
You're Bernadette.
Sorry, about Geraldine. You've got her flustered. About Geraldine, unless, like we said, I can pay off 10% of her debt.
You said 30.
No, I'm pretty sure I said 10.
Nope, you said 30.
Well, I'm saying 10 now.
Well,
all you've got to do is translate the tablet.
Yeah.
We get 10% off her debt, or you can get none off of her debt.
Do we think the rock's more important than 10%? Because I feel like the 10% is kind of useless at this point.
I mean, it's something.
%. What about 15?
Done.
Okay.
If you
I
translate.
should have said 25. What was I thinking? I'm not good at this.
After
Negotiation
you translate.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead and start. So she has you in there. The rest of you, Grimald has sort of summoned you out of the tent. And yeah, I gave you control over your character as well, Killen. And he says, right, if you don't mind, you're just gonna follow me right this way. And Bernice Gold wants to talk to you. Thinks she's ready to start making deals, which is really a good thing for you guys because she's got some good stuff. So he takes you over to this tent way over here, and over to the east, or the east. She stands out in front of it and says, "Oh, hello again, my friends. I believe that your ally is currently engaged with a very important translation task. I believe Bernadette is making good use of his skills. So in the meantime, if you wouldn't mind stepping right in here, I would love to see if we can provide you an opportunity to trade with some of our specialty stock, since you are apparently such a good friend of the keeper here. He speaks very highly of you. He's glad to see you, so you should feel honored, I would think. I perceive that you probably have picked up some things on your travels, and we are always interested in varying our supply. So please, would you be interested in coming in so we can make some deals, perhaps?
Certainly.
All right. So she steps in here, and she invites you all in. And why is your name Luminous on there?
That's an excellent question.
Oh, it's because Luminous is just highlighting your token. That's what's happening.
Yeah, I am. What are we doing? What happened?
So this is the other guys for a moment. So she invites you in, and this is actually a pretty plain, not a lot going on in terms of actual magic items here. There's a table in front of you. It's there's a section in the back that she seems to sleep beyond. But Bernice she has a series of rings on her fingers, and one in particular has what looks like a skull on it, with a silver skull with some gold trim and two little garnets as the eyes. And she sort of waves her hand over it, and sort of in this mystical, almost hologram form, you see a variety of items appear as just sort of spectral light on the table. She says, if you see anything that you would like to know more about, I can produce it, but these arcane light versions of these things, you can pick them up. They will have the exact weight, exact properties. They just won't be things that either one of us can harm each other with. So it's for our safety. If you decide to purchase something, to trade for something, then I will gladly be able to produce the actual version of it for you. So, if you guys go to the character pages document and you look at the Draconian Shop tab, you will be able to see all the things that they have accessible. And also you'll notice that on your own character sheets, all of your inventories have been updated with the value of each of the items that you are carrying. And some of the items you guys have are quite valuable. So, she says, is there anything you would like to know more information about? Then I can help you with that. So you see several, not the potions, because that's actually from Geraldine, but you can talk about potions with her if you want. There's several kinds of pieces of attire and armor, a pendant, a shield, a cloak, a ring, and a special helm. And there are some weapons of various kinds, and then some just sort of interesting magic items that don't fall into those kinds of categories. So tell me if you are interested in something. And Kyle, you can also look at these because you'll have the opportunity to buy in a moment too. I don't know if any of you actually looked at this list when I first sent it to you, but
When did you
No, I
send this?
haven't.
Was it email?
I told you guys in a text that you would be able to look through some of this stuff and ahead of time if you'd like.
Yeah, that's on me.
All right.
Is this the This is okay. Which was the one that I came up with that you changed?
I used a few of the things that you
Yeah,
said. I just changed
I
them
see
a
the
little
I
bit.
see the time snappering that I talked about.
Yeah, so if you sent me any suggestions of items, I use them as inspiration for some of the things that are here. Some of the inspiration went way off and became something entirely different,
Fair.
but I was using that for just an idea of what kinds of things you might be interested in.
How specific can you get with the conjurer's bag? Like when you're producing items out of it?
It's general. So in the conjurer's bag, I think it specifies you can use
Generic,
one
simple
action to
object.
reach into the bag and conjure any generic simple object that fits within a 1 by 1 foot cubic space. So
Like the example I was thinking of was
Yeah,
like
tell me
if
an
we needed a
example.
key for a door, and I was like, let me make this key real quick.
so that's what I would describe as a specific
Okay, that's what I was
thing.
figuring.
I mean, I'm pretty partial to the time snappering.
That's pretty cool.
We've got lots of good things here. Do any of you like tea?
I'm more of a water kind of guy, but I know I'm also not there, so
But I'm also not there.
Yes, tea can be very calming.
Well, this particular tea, it's always hot. It never runs out. It's the teapot itself that's enchanted. And it makes sure that you are performing at your best, but with temperance. Mostly that you are not performing at your worst.
All right, so I definitely want the belligerent bottle might.
And as she sees that you have this image that you sort of pick it up, you grab this like arcane light that's just a like an interactable hologram with weight.
it's sold you for your own good.
And
I love this idea.
And you see this thing inside that is just kind of, you can't hear it, but it's clearly saying something. And it's this tiny little kind of scrunched up tiny creature that's almost insectoid demon looking thing. And she says, that is one of the cheapest things we have on stock, because honestly, I would like to get rid of it.
That's hilarious.
But I do have to make at least some profit. So I've put it exactly at the price point that I'm comfortable with.
Do we not have gold on us? We just have items of value.
You basically, I mean, you might have a few. You each have maybe.
I have 10 gold.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of gold. Some of you,
I don't
but
think I
for
have
the
any.
most part, I think you have 39 gold actually.
Oh, I
according
see.
to you.
Okay.
Trade the cloud orb. We don't need it. Jokes, because I might be doing that.
I guess I'll trade her a potion of power plus 10 gold for that.
Okay. So you can go ahead and you take the belligerent bottle might and take those things off of your
Yep. I got it.
thing for me. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in your whoopsie doozy. I'm gonna go ahead and put it here. There we go. As she says, very good. A favor to us all. And she does another like a snap of her fingers, and this thing is replaced immediately in your hand with the actual version of the object. And
You start insulting Jackson and Osen immediately.
And immediately,
You suck.
this thing says,
Well, what a really great use of getting rid of a potion. You think I'm gonna be a friend? I'll tell you what, friendo. I'm gonna make your life miserable, and you paid for it.
I put him in like my little satchel and I say, I think this is going to really help me grow.
anything of
my
interest to you?
Yeah, just my 2 cents. The dream share totem sounds awesome. And so does the conjurer's bag. Even it could be pretty useful.
Yeah, I was interested in the dream share totem, but I don't have anything that I want to trade that would give me enough value for that. So I'm good, thanks.
You do have 2 bows right now. I don't know if you're using both, but
that's fair. Let's see here. Which bow am I currently?
Your Faybreaker bow is the one that you can do like tons of damage on one round.
That's right. I did just get that Faybreaker bow. I've gotten really used to using the Dark Stag bow. Man, I haven't even thought about what that looks like changing that.
Whenever you're stuck with a decision, you can ask the bottle imp.
Yeah, I pull out the new bottle might and I say, excuse me, new friend, do you have any suggestions?
For what? Your breath? No. You're beyond redemption.
I like this guy.
I put him back in the satchel and I say, well, this was a mistake. Osen looks a little dejected and he checks his breath.
I audibly laugh.
Somewhere, Luminous knows this is happening, and he's so excited to experience this. And he kind of wants it for himself, and may try to buy it off Osen at some point. So, do you think she would take the Cloud Orb? It's worth 350. We already have another one. And we could get multiple items from it.
Oh, true. That's a good point.
Because, like, with the Cloud Orb, that leaves us another 100 if we say we got the Conjure Bag and the Dream Share Totem. It leaves us another 100.
Also, that teapot one is pretty powerful.
Yeah, so what is that?
It does definitely help you from rolling low at the expense of not being able to do major hits or crits.
But then also that time, I do like the Time Snapper ring. Do we need it? I had the idea of like if we go in the battle, we could use it theoretically before we go into battle, and so if anybody dies, we could just go back in time and not die.
Whoever's wearing it can.
Well, yeah, that person remembers. Nobody else does. You have anything worth like 50 value?
I could give another potion of power and a chaos pebble. I don't even know what a chaos pebble is.
That's the thing that Thimin made that said that it's going to grow eventually into you being able to use the chaos of the pebble to change your abilities.
Oh snap! I'm not giving that up.
All right, what I can do, I can do this. Cloud orb plus potion of. Potion of. Do I need the potion of rest or the charisma more?
Well, remember, you're not here right now, but
well, I know, but I'm
you
talking like in the future.
Yeah,
because I'm busy right now solving our problems. Kinda, only 15% of it.
We're shopping.
Only 15% of the problem.
Okay, I think for sure.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I think I'm deciding that I will get rid of the dark stag bow and trade it in for the dream share totem.
All right.
I think we need that for sure.
I will move it over to your thing, so you get rid of the dark stag bow.
What did you what'd you get?
The dream share totem.
Okay.
These are all very cool, by the way.
Okay, thanks. I'm glad. I wanted it to be quite a variety of.
I got a question. Some of the items, like how many times can they be used if they say like reaction?
Depends on what item you're talking about.
Like the snake rat bandage.
It says consumable on it, so that means that it is
one time.
Oh, I meant to. Oh, that's a good point. Oh, it says 40 V per item, so
yeah.
Each one of them is 40 V.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I mean, like I can keep looking at this because I'm doing something else right now. So
I'm gonna move some of these items up in the list, and I'm gonna move this up. Oops.
Did I send you guys that speedrunning Excel spreadsheets video?
No, I don't think so.
Oh man, I gotta find that.
All right. So out of Killen and Osen, anything else you're buying here?
Potions are not right now, correct?
We can assume that she would have access to this, so you can do potions if you want. You already got the very, very cheap ones from from your salesperson.
I can't really afford anything else without giving up something that I feel like we might need.
I will trade one of my potions of power for the snake wrap bandage.
Okay. For a snake wrap bandage, got it. All right, let me copy this one because she has multiples of those. And I'll put it over here. Snake wrap bandage. All right. Very good. Let's see. You sold Osen one potion of power. Did you have multiple?
I had two, yeah.
Okay,
took it off.
Just wanted to make sure. Excellent. All right. Well, my friends, we've done some good business. Is this all you wanted today?
I believe we're all set for now.
Perfect. I know that the keeper was very interested in talking to you. I did have a question. There's a man out there carrying a very interesting sword. You think that's the kind of thing he might be willing to sell?
Yep.
Which man are you referring to?
I believe he's one of yours. Another seeker.
The bald guy.
You may ask him, but I feel like he is very attached to that particular sword.
Perhaps I'll take some time for a conversation while you're all here. From what I heard from the talk between the keeper and the witchblade that you were with, the kind of frightening one, it seems like you're trying to get somewhere somewhat quickly. I'm glad that you had the chance to relax a little bit, but it seems like some of your companions are quite eager to be on their way. So I will be sure to talk to this gentleman quickly. Thank you for your time. Please, if you decide you want to have something else or your other friend wants to come by, let me know.
He does want to come by.
We will let Luminous know to stop by before we leave. He'll be very
Excellent.
interested in a lot of these, but I think I got the thing that he's going to want the most.
Excellent. So, Luminous.
Yeah.
In the tent that you're in,
Yeah.
you've been looking over this puzzle. As the demeanor of Bernadette has completely changed at this point, where she's just sort of very exacting and critical now. And as you're looking over this and trying to make sense of it, are you taking the Argean tablet out, or not the tablet, but the page that you have of the tablet to sort of look over some of the symbols and?
No.
Okay. So you're trying to do this mostly from memory. So what I need you to do is to roll just normally a mind roll. Okay. You start to piece together that what you're seeing here are words like you've seen before, but the format of them, you're starting to see a pattern of what almost looks like numbers written out as words. And you get to that point, and then I need you to make another mind roll. And there's a period of time where you're really not making any progress other than that.
I pull out my notes.
Okay. Now do that roll again but roll it with favor. Okay. You realize pretty quickly as you're putting more of these pieces together that what this seems to be, it's almost like it's coordinates in some way, not written out in it's strange to you that it's written in stone like this, but as you're examining it and your archaeological background is telling you that somebody used a certain form of magic to just use their finger or the tip of a finger or some sort of magical, it would have to be a fairly large object or finger to magically write something into the stone. As you're looking at the work of it, what seems to have happened here is somebody was scrawling a code of some kind. And you think that this might be a certain older manner of coordinate taking which relied on a central point and certain distances from a central point measured outward a certain unspecified unit of measurement before steps are taken in an opposite direction or in some other variant direction, like 90 degrees. So instead of a longitudinal kind of coordinate system, this is a coordinate system that relies on finding a central pillar and moving outward from it. And that's and so your archaeological studies and the way that you're using your notes, that's what you determine, but you don't share any of this right away. So finally, as you realize that, you have a pretty good idea of what this is. There's just half of it is missing. So, what is it? You look like you've figured something out here. What does it say?
A bunch of numbers.
Numbers. Oh, what does that mean? Why would there be numbers?
Are you guys? What are you guys trying to use this for? Like maybe that could try to help me figure out what it could be.
It's just something we found and we wanted to understand what it is. Knowledge is power.
Can I perceive if she's telling the truth to me or not?
Sure, absolutely. Spirit.
Yeah, I got no idea. Is it worth? Sure, I'll do it. Why not? That's not much better. Okay, so I don't learn anything because she's a good liar. Like maybe you're. It looks like someone, like some powerful being, maybe a big person, magically put in like these numbers in a pattern. Like maybe go to a location or something. I'm not really sure.
So it's a map by number.
Maybe
That's useful. That's useful.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure though. So,
Well, is that as much as you can tell about this thing?
I think so.
All right. Well, whenever you talk to whoever it is, 15%, like I said. No. That's all I need you for. Get out.
Okay, I just walk out and think she's very rude. Do I go to this guy?
If you want to.
I tell him I paid. I just got that she's paying her 15% of what's her name.
Oh, is she? Oh, very
Yeah.
good. I'm sure you rendered a very important service for this to be accomplished.
Yeah. All right. Have a good one.
So you guys are all
shook.
coming out. You guys are all coming out and see Luminous about the time that he gets here.
Guys, she's mean.
What did you ascertain from the tablet?
I tell him everything you told me.
All right.
And did she seem pleased?
She said interesting, and then yelled, and then said, "Get out."
It is interesting. Anyway, check
yeah.
out what I got. And I show him.
She also hang on. I want to hang on before he does that. I want to mention that she also tried to seduce my mind to kill Tobias.
Interesting.
And she realized because she was going to make it 50% of it, but then because of the stuff with the knock knocks going on in my mind, it stopped it, and she was shocked, and she went from that high number to 10, and then we bargained, and I got 15% of her value, so we're still 80. What is that? 85%.
So if she wants Tobias dead, she may know of his plot that he tried to reel us into. Or maybe something else. Is he going around spewing the fact that he may dislike everyone here in this camp?
I guess so, but they know that they don't like him. She
He
doesn't like him.
seem like the most subtle person.
No, he does not. Him and his communist ideas.
Well, I'm kind of glad that we didn't go along with his coup idea.
Anyway, what'd you want to show me?
Oh, yes. Very excited. Let me show you.
Okay.
And I pull out the bottle imp. Hello,
What's this?
Little imp. This is Luminous. He is one of our group. Please show him your powers.
It looks right at you, Luminous. Like as soon as it's coming out of the bag. And it says, "Well, your head's on fire and that's the hairstyle you chose?"
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, I'm not sure you could even comprehend what that's supposed to mean.
I don't think you understand what you're saying. I think you just think that you're being smart, but you're actually not. You're the one stuck in a bottle. How do you get out of it?
This thing is gonna drive Luminous crazy. I love how Osen has just like adopted this thing already. Like
Osen is like
I also did the
chortling.
completely wrong voice for him, but
It's fine.
It's okay. Just don't let it happen again.
If you're so smart, how
And
do you
it-
get out of the bottle? At least I have free will and can get out. Sucks to be you.
Yeah, you
Did
seem
she-
like the kind of person that does a lot of good with your free will. Based on dressing like that.
You're just jealous that I have
Also-
free will. So
he looks
suck it.
he looks over. He's like,
Why aren't you wearing any pants?
he looks over at Kellen.
I look back at him and Killen. I'm like, you got a point there.
I put him back in the bag and say,
I have
I
4
bel-
legs. Find me some pants I could wear. That'd be great.
And I just look at Osen and I'm like, what?
if a centaur wore pants, would he wear them like this or this?
We just had this discussion last week. 3 weeks
My
ago.
family
We did have that conversation last week.
I believe that he will make a great asset to our group. He's going to help us grow as people.
You guys all hear a
Okay.
the sound of a banjo. It's terrible. Music is awful to you, but you do hear
Oh,
this
yeah.
sort of summoning sound of a banjo.
Wait,
Even more awful because of our experience with the
what is
and
what's in here?
Oh, it's only awful because of your experience, because you formerly liked this sound.
That's an awful noise.
And
I believe
And
that
you
is
see
the
that-
keeper.
you see that the Otago and others have moved on this way, and the Witchblades are over here, and you get the impression that the keeper, he's using the same song that he's used before, when he sort of woke you up in the morning one time, and you know that he does want to talk to you.
Can I go into the thing first?
Oh yeah.
Guys, what's
Yeah.
behind you?
Oh yes, there are many other things for sale here in this tent. If you'd like to look through them.
Sure.
So briefly tell me what you're buying real quick.
So I'm gonna sell 2 things.
Okay.
What are you buying?
I'm gonna sell my cloud orb
All right.
and my dark stag shield
All right, for a total.
of 450.
Okay. And what are you getting in return?
I'm gonna get the calming teapot, the conjurer's bag. That's 300. So I have another 150.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of like the ink blade. I'm gonna be honest. Am I ever
That's
gonna use it
pretty
though?
So you're not doing the time snap ring.
I don't have enough for that.
Okay, I didn't know if you were gonna.
I mean, I
You-
could sell. I could sell some other stuff if I want the time snap ring. What do you
He
guys
comes
think
out
I
of
should
the
get?
tent and he's like, "Hey, can I borrow your cloud orb?"
Can I borrow it?
Are you gonna? No.
I'm just
What do
gonna
you guys-
float.
What do you guys think? Time snap ring or the ink blade?
I mean, the time
Or
snap,
the arcane scrambler?
time snap ring is pretty cool, but you'd have to have like, I don't know. It's pretty cool. I like that.
Basically, what we could use with it is if we're going into battle, that's when we set it off, and then in 10 minutes, does it automatically go back 10 minutes?
You
No matter what.
automatically go to no matter what to the exact spot you were in when you
I feel like
activated
you
it.
could
Yes.
also get that messed up.
Yeah. So like, say you went to some place that had like a room that you were like, this room might be full of traps, and
Yeah.
and you were like, let's find out. I might die, but I'll be back in 10 minutes if I do.
Or say you were falling off a cliff. You would still die, but you'd be back in 10 minutes.
Yeah. I'm also gonna sell my potion of. Do I need the potion of charisma?
I don't know, man. Based on that last interaction.
Yeah, I would say that would benefit you at some point.
That's rude. Luminous thinks he can handle himself and that he's actually great with the ladies. And he saw through her con the entire time. So that's why he's uncomfortable. Because nobody just hits on Luminous. I think I'm going to sell the point of charisma for another 40. And then I'm going to sell my 10 gold for another 50 to get the time snap. So I got the conjurer's bag, the teapot, and the time snap ring. And I just carry all three things. I'm like, guys, look what I got.
Wow, those items were quite expensive. What did you end up giving for them?
My soul.
Well, at least
just
you didn't
kidding.
give up the cloud orb.
Yeah. We already got. Well, we don't. Do we really need 2 of those?
Well, I think that's probably something we should discuss as a group before
Did
making
you
any decisions.
You got rid of the shield too?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I mean, we found 2. They must not be rare, right?
Should I have discussed this with you guys before I got rid of that cloud orb?
You don't have to tell them that you did.
Yeah, but they think I still
Do you
have
say
it.
that out loud?
No, I don't.
Okay. Then I continue walking towards the keeper.
All right, hold on. I'm making some adjustments here. 150 calming teapot.
I can't wait for when this actually does come up.
In all honesty, though, do you guys think I should not have sold it?
I was surprised that you did. That's all I'm gonna say.
I think it's hilarious that you did that. Osint would not be very happy, but Jackson
we're here
thinks
for the
it's hilarious.
I think
Good time, not a long time.
your character is just bizarre that you sold it.
Well, his logic is sound, though. We have another one.
We have another one, and the only way
he was
to use
never
it
going to bind it.
It's
But as an archaeologist,
narratively funny too.
Well, we have another one, and I have everything that I found around it as well. And like logically, like if my character is gonna be the ruler of the new world, I kind of can't sell my soul to cloud giants and be their slave forever.
No, I'm not saying you should buy it. I'm just saying, as an archaeologist, that sounds like something you would like.
That belongs in a museum.
Yeah, Indiana Jones it.
I can get it from Osint, and I'll trade him something else. I think one's enough for us.
There we go.
Plus, we have some really cool stuff now.
It's not like pottery.
It kind of feels like pottery.
All right, so you guys make your way over to the keeper. He's playing his banjo, and it's just irritating because music is terrible to you. And as you're sort of cringing your way toward him, he stops and sort of opens up his chest and shoves his banjo inside that can't possibly fit in there, and closes it back up and pulls out a pipe instead and lights it up and says, "Well, my friends, I'm real excited y'all came back through, and like I told you before, Mr. Osint, I owe you some information. You asked me if I could you asked me specifically, you remember, if the gallows tree ever produced anything else than what it produces now. And I have been able to ascertain some things about the nature of it before. Y'all ready to hear it?
Yes, please.
So the gallows tree used to go by a different name, but we'll get to that. You see, it used to produce uncorrupted soul seeds. Apparently there was somebody named Alicent Little who used to visit the tree and take care of it. She befriended it, and it produced good things back then. When a creature in the jungle was dying, that creature would go to the tree and rest within its roots until it became a new kind of creature, powered by the magics of wonder, whimsy, and imagination. Some of the most humble creations were called Silvari, simple forest guardians with bodies that looked like tangles of vines. But the greatest of the soul seed creations happened when a mighty ancient dragon, fatally injured from a battle with another dragon, landed on the island. Alicent used the tree to save that dragon's life, transforming it into one of the Silvari. Alicent the dragon, and the hope tree, that's what they called it, were all close friends back then. Ages and ages ago. Anyway, that's the answer I owed you. The soul seeds used to produce much better things.
Thank you for this information.
Forgive me, I don't remember what the tree makes now.
Well, you might call them corrupted
Knock-knocks.
soul seeds of anything. So,
That's right.
you know,
Okay. I
so
couldn't remember back to like our first game.
So what happens is they, Grammy Grins, of course, is the ruler of many regions around here, including the gardens, which you, from what I hear, you took care of the gardener. And it was that Rose Dryad lady that took over. But it produced soul seeds, corrupted soul seeds, which are used to create things like the dark stags. And, however, the dark stags also have the benefit of having grin sickness at the same time. So that seems to be a mutual joint agreement of sorts between the Grammy Grins and her lieutenant, you might say, that grinning panther.
So the tree, once being good, now corrupted. We know it to be a titan of sorts. I wonder if it could be reverted to its former state.
Well, from what y'all told me before, that's something that you, Killen, are interested in doing. And Killen, if you recall, you were told by your ancestor that you could create a weapon out of several objects on the island that you could that would be used to either destroy this titan or to save it.
Yeah. I was trying to remember what those were.
And that is a slitherwood branch, a moon crystal, and pure titan blood. And the last that you engaged in this, there seems to be a common interest in the tree's survival from the witchblades. And the hand, Lucius Otho, said that he'll have some of his people try to look for some of these items.
So, remind me, we've been through so much the last couple days.
Yeah, you absolutely have.
You said the dark stags and their like are born from these corrupted soul seed pods, and
That's
yet
right.
they have the grinning sickness. So this is a work of a joint project between Granny Grin and the Panther.
That's right.
What was Granny's relationship with the gardener?
Well, he was another kind of worker for her. He kept the garden, kept the tree, made sure it was producing the seeds. If the hope tree was restoring creatures, turning them into Sylvari, again, tangles of vines in to replace their former flesh, but to heal them. Imagine that the gardener was feeding corpses to this thing.
And what became of Alicent Little?
Now that is something that I don't quite have the information on. I was kind of hard pressed to even get the name.
Do you mind if I ask where you got the information?
Other travelers like yourself. This was I believe they called themselves the Order, Sylvan Order, the Order of Sylvanus, something like that.
The Order of Sylvania.
Yeah, that sounds right. They've been doing some exploring themselves, it seems. There was a real sick one that came through, actually. The woman claimed to be having visions of things that, like the island was talking to her. Apparently she had a run-in with some of the people that are no longer with us. Friends of mine, actually, that I met. She bonded with a place, a kind of river crossing. Got sick, and it's got kind of an internal infection, but she seems to be having some kind of visions as a result of that experience.
Was that Miyagawa?
Yeah, that was her name, Miyagawa. You wouldn't have said that, but he
Right,
just
yeah.
remembers her name. Miyagawa, that was her name.
And these visions that she's having.
That's how she came up with the name.
Yes, it's
She saw it in a
information
vision.
about the island and its history.
That's the way I understood it.
That's very interesting. Well, thank you, Keeper. You've more than held up your end of the bargain.
Absolutely. Well, I've also heard from your little friends over there with the funny little hands and faces that you're trying to
Racist.
you're trying to get a little closer to another place where you're going to walk right into danger. Is that right?
Seems to be what we do.
Well, you're quite interesting people. I'm glad you're here. I can help you out, but I do got to tell you that I have built a relationship at this point with these current locals that we've got, and we have a bit of a deal going on. So I can get you there if first you have some dealings with these people.
We have traded with them, is that what you mean?
Well, if that's what satisfies them, then that's great.
Is your relationship with them cordial? Are you happy to have them here?
I find them kind of interesting. You see, it's a lot more possible for me to get the things that I want if more people are willing to come through the crossroads and they're helping to expand my network of crossings. So it's kind of mutually beneficial. The things that they want, the things that I want, are very different objects. Y'all helped me get the wind chimes. I was very grateful for that. You might have noticed this was a new instrument I was playing. Those things that just call out to me. These people don't have any interest in those things, so it works out pretty well. Because they do find them, and other people find them, and those things come to me. It's like finding old parts of yourself. Like I told you before, I don't remember a lot about what I was before I came here.
What is it that you seek now?
Well, funny you should ask. There's this, how should I say it? It's a small object. It's like a handheld mirror. It's just something I know that I want. Guess I never explained to you before how exactly I want these things, but it's like it's calling to me. Like I know that it belongs with me. I feel it out there. It's like I can feel it in my hands. Just never seen it, but I can feel it. I can envision it.
Is there anything special about the mirror?
I haven't learned anything about it so far. Nobody seems to have come across any information about it. By the time that you came to me with the wind chimes being on my mind, I'd learned a lot about it. I could tell you specifically what I wanted and why I wanted it, but or at least where it was. So that's what I mean. This I don't know so much about. I just feel it out there.
I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Sorry to change the subject, but I just thought of something.
Yes, sir.
We were talking about how our previous adventure by the tree and how the Dryad Cassiphia took over for the gardener.
Yep.
We recently learned that her takeover was not quite what she led us to believe it would be. Harris's memory is going here on the details, what we learned about her from the tree warrior things.
That's okay. I don't mind reminding you as the storyteller because it's been a while. You learned that the creatures that attacked you that seemed to be made out of the same kind of viney stuff, but instead of red roses, there were a few like sort of dying white rose type emblems on them.
Mm-hmm.
They claimed that she was a deceiver that was actually not trying to do anything to build bonds between the Queen of Roses and Grammy Grins, but was trying to usurp the throne of the Queen of Roses through her political machinations.
So was she going against Granny Grins?
No, she was aligning herself to Grammy Grins.
With Granny Grins?
Yeah.
Okay.
But she was upfront about that with you guys. That she was
just that we just didn't realize that she was usurping the throne.
Yes.
Okay. But that she was aligning herself with Granny Grins.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And she basically said, "Thank you for your help. Also, Grammy Grins is going to be very upset with you now, so watch out." And you didn't know what that meant until the gardener's head showed up at the event in which a lot of your people got slaughtered.
That's right. That's right.
Took that L.
So it's Cassiphia's fault all that happened.
Yes.
Okay. So
largely, it's a large part of it.
The keeper is: do you have any more? Have you heard any gossip about what Cassiphia is doing, or what has happened since that time?
I'm thinking as the storyteller for a second. But what I know, I'll at least impart you with this. From what I understand, she either was desperate or was really looking to shake things up when she decided to align herself with Grammy. All I know at this point is that she apparently wasn't looking forward to being under the reign of the Queen of Roses any longer. She would rather take her place. So I don't know much of the specifics about that, but it seemed like that was somewhat of a desperate move that she made.
Did she kill the Queen of Roses?
I believe the Queen of Roses is in hiding currently because of Cassiphia.
I don't guess you have any idea where we could find her, do you?
I'm afraid I don't. She hadn't come through here, I'll tell you that.
Well, as always, thank you for the conversation. Could I bother you for a little bit of that tobacco?
Absolutely, you can bother me, my friend. And he goes ahead and gets a pouch out and offers you some, and you have your little pipe with you. Well, my friends, I am eager to make sure that you continue on your way. Is there anything that you need from me? Specific knowledge? You've done me a good favor. If you'd keep an eye out for any information about a mirror, that'd be quite useful for me. Is there anything you specifically want me to look into?
If you would, while you're here and these travelers are here in your realm, keep an ear to the ground regarding their knowledge and or interest in both cloud giants and the language that they speak. Anything of that nature would be useful. And it could be useful to you as well. I don't know their full intentions here, but the Draconians are not typical when it comes to the structure of their society and their government, so keep an eye out and be careful for yourself as well.
Well, I'm not so worried about anything they could possibly think they could do to me here. They've proven beneficial to me so far. If I wanted them out, I would just put them out.
It's good to know.
That's good to see all y'all. Hoping that we can continue to do business together.
I was gonna ask, can our characters take a rest? Because I think
Y'all
we're
look-
all pretty way.
Y'all do look pretty tired, but my understanding is that your little friends over there don't want to stay too long. However, give me just a second. I'm going to pull up the big map.
Are we at the ferry crossroads right now, or the other crossroads?
You're sort of you're right there, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's all the same place. They're all connecting to the same place.
Yeah.
But he says, I could, there is a crossroads far closer to where you're going, now that I know that you were going into the pits of death itself, trying to find that knock-knock lair. I could get you a lot closer. If you want to take a rest and that's about all you do, and you're trying to get there as quick as your friends want you to get there, that's about all you'd have the time to do. And then whatever happens next happens next. But I can get you quite close.
That sounds fantastic.
Well, why don't you, I'll tell you what, since I frankly like y'all a little better, why don't you tell your friends that's what's going to happen? Because there's nothing going to happen to you here while I'm here.
You're a real one.
Well, I appreciate that.
Such a
And what was it you told me before? You too, G.
Present.
Collecting Gen Z phrases as well as mirrors and banjos.
All right, let me put you back in here. All right, so you guys are here. You have the witch blades nearby, and we can wrap up. But if there's anything else you want to do while you're here, this is the time to start thinking about that. You also have Geraldine that's out there as well that you haven't done anything with if you wanted to do anything about that.
Should probably tell her that we helped pay off part of her debt.
What do you
I
guys wanna
nominate
do
Osint.
first?
What?
I said I nominate Osint
Oh, okay.
to tell her.
I can go tell her because I was the one that was really
Yeah, whoever has the most rapport with her probably should do it.
initially.
It's definitely not me.
Yeah, I was the one that was initially very frustrated at her slavery situation.
All right.
So I can go tell her that.
Gillen, you approach Geraldine, and she says, "Oh, hey, how did it all? What's cooking? Is that that's sorry, that wasn't. How did it go?
This is awkward as Luminous.
Not made for each other.
Things have been interesting here, but I do want to let you know that our friend Luminous bargained with the leprechaun lady.
Oh, yeah. She's really nice.
Whatever her name
Hmm.
is.
Likely story.
And he got her to agree to pay off 15% of your debt.
Oh. Okay, so not the whole thing. No, that's fantastic. That's
We're working on the rest, but that's what we could do today.
hey, that's okay. I mean, even if it's just 15%, that's just
How much?
that's only 45 more years. So that's not terrible.
Yeah, what does that equate to in like value? That's what we need to know.
I guess she doesn't know that. Only the rulers would put money on that for her, right?
Could you tell us, just like outside of game, what that's equivalent to in value?
Well, the ruler guy did tell me that if there was something that we had to bargain with, which I thought was going to be
Like a cloud orb?
well, yeah, or like a service of some sort, but they weren't interested in the cloud orb. But then they only gave us 15% for the service that Luminous provided. So
Yeah, it could have been 50.
Yeah, but I would have to kill. But Tobias,
right.
hey, did we want Tobias dead?
I mean, he is kind of annoying.
Ooh, then Matt could be my friend forever. Oh, what was I thinking?
Yeah, how much of her debt will they give us if we kill Tobias?
50.
It was 50.
No way to know at this point.
That was before she was mad at me, and
You kind of burned a bridge with
I
with
did.
her.
She doesn't like me. She does not like me. Just because I didn't let her mind control thing take over me. Which honestly, that's kind of rude of her. To be honest, that she like burned my bridge.
Well, that's thank you. I do appreciate that a lot, and I hope you guys have some great times out there. I mean, you're doing all the stuff I've read about. I'm very excited for you guys. It's
This is heartbreaking. I hate it.
I'm about to have to log off. This is depressing.
I'm probably. I mean, assuming you do come back, I mean, that would be amazing because I could hear more about what you've done. If you don't, then I'll assume that you found some great adventure out there.
Or we
that sounds
died.
pretty amazing.
Or we died.
I would, yeah, but dying on your own terms is there's something very appealing about that, right? That's
I hate this every second of this.
thank you for what you've done.
We
Truly.
don't have Themin with us right now, do we?
You
No.
don't.
No.
So, hypothetically speaking,
ChatGPT, hypothetically.
how much of an international incident will there be if Geraldine's not there when we leave?
That could
The
mean all
fact that
kinds of
they would
things.
know exactly who did it because we've both spoken to the leader about this.
Multiple times, in fact.
And expressed our displeasure with the whole situation. No, I know they know it was us.
Hey, you know what? YOLO.
I don't like
We're,
this.
we're here for a short time and a good time. Not a long
For a
time.
short time and a good time and a long time.
YOLO's more of a millennial thing, so I can't get on board with this.
Keep in mind you can't just scoop her up right now because we still have to work out the logistics of where we're going.
While all this going,
Hey, Morgan, could you bring me back to the Big Island map real quick?
Yeah.
Where is? Hang on here. I have an idea. I want to make sure it's not too stupid.
Mr. Krabs, I have an idea.
All right, so there's the gallows tree there. Where are we?
You are. Yeah.
There. Where's our camp?
Your camps have all been scattered because
Oh, are we not at the cave anymore? Like, there's not like a hub
no,
at the cave?
they ended up having to leave that while you guys were
Oh,
away
yeah,
in the
well,
Misty
we were in
Grove.
the Music Man place. Oh, yeah. So I don't actually know where any of them are right now.
Correct.
Like, I don't even know.
The one thing
where
that you
this
guys
is.
do know is that, yeah, you don't know where Tyrannus and the rest are. You do know at least that the people that are trying to join you at the Knock Knock Lair and trying to get there as they can are Queen Clover and Mundor, Red, aka the woman, the Mantiki woman, and there's one more. There's one more with them. Let
I
me see.
thought Red and Tyrannus were supposed to be sticking together.
They're not.
Oh.
Spoiler alert.
It's someone else. Hold on, I have it in my notes here.
What are you trying to do?
So, I have a thought here
Oh, and Mahir.
of
You do have the telepathy rod, and the people that are connected to the telepathy rod are listed in it, and that's what Osint has. The telepathy crystal is connected to Otago, who is with you, Sharam, Loros, and Queen Clover. So Sharam is currently traveling with Thimin, who Thimin got injured by a magical object from the Briar Knights, and he is not easily healed by it, so they're having to travel together, and they're trying to get closer to the they're just trying to survive right now.
Do I know who's with Tyrannus?
You know that he is with his people. That's what Queen Clover was able to share, is that the last she knew was that they were separated from them, with all of your tribe being together, the remainders of your tribe.
So here's my, I guess the plan that's cooking right now. It's a stupid one, but YOLO, as Osen eloquently said. I'm really fast.
do we sleep first?
No. So yeah, we sleep first. But if I knew where they were, and if I could bargain with the keeper, and there was a crossroads near where the Titanians are, I could spirit her away real quick to their protection without anybody ever knowing until it's too late to do anything about it. And then they'd just be mad or think she ran away.
Do any
There's
of
a
us
lot of ifs in that plan. I understand.
do? I don't know if this would work either. I was gonna say,
You
do
hear-
any of us have any?
All right,
What?
hang on.
What's the imp's idea?
Yeah, I hear that, and I take the imp out of my pocket.
Since nobody else is seeming to think about this, like a bunch of idiots, you were just told that this guy can just shunt anybody out here that he wants, and you got a good relationship with him. Are you kidding me? Just ask him.
Well, it's not about that. It's about. I don't say this to the imp. I put him back in the bag.
No,
It's not really
he's got
about
a
that. It's
point.
about yeah, but we at some point will have to come back to the crossroads. We will be in this realm again, and if there's an incident that we begin, it'll be up to the keeper to keep the peace, which he might be able to do, but we're gonna burn bridges quick with this
So-
whole sect of people.
So I could not care less about burning bridges with these people.
Okay.
But,
I was gonna say
so
Luminous is
I think the imp's point is we don't have to do anything. We can convince the keeper or get Geraldine to do something stupid enough to tick the keeper off that he wants to kick her out of the realm and just drop her somewhere convenient in the forest.
so Luminous has looked inside himself and thinks that it's important to take a step back and reflect on your situation.
Which step is that? Is that step 1? Step 2?
It's not even
Is
step 1.
Is it part of the coup?
No, this is how to run away, and this is what it said. We need to pause and reflect. Why do you want to run away? We need to identify the root cause.
Slavery.
Because I'm a slave. Okay,
Okay, we have
you
root
asked the wrong
cause.
question.
Talk to somebody you trust. Okay, she's talking to us. We need to seek help or guidance. Maybe we need to cope and we need to talk to the keeper with seeking help and guidance.
We already have the imp for guidance. We don't need him.
Okay, we need to consider alternatives.
A life of servitude.
What's our next steps? We need to plan them.
You're asking the wrong questions. Hold on.
So hypothetically,
It says think about. It told me to build a support network. Do your job. Also call 1-800-RUNAWAY.
That sounds like draconian language. Do your job.
Find ways to cope. I think she just needs to cope, guys.
She needs some copium. Now Harris is using AI too.
I am.
I was fine with the it's the professors getting upset with students using AI, and then it's like, but the real toll is for dungeon masters when their players are using AI.
Right?
I don't know what you're talking about. I think we should rest on it.
I told Chat GPT that I was writing a fictional novel. What's the best way to free a slave?
What did it say?
That it depends on the setting, era, and themes that we're exploring.
A creepy jungle.
Hold on, fantasy alternative universe. There's a whole section here. Use magic or divine intervention.
That's
We
the
don't have
one.
that ability.
Such as breaking enchanted chains or overpowering a sorcerer's curse. That's not it. Introduce a character who fights a corrupt system or bargains for freedom. Usually, okay, well, so apparently we need to buy us.
We need to what?
We need to buy us.
Our divine intervention, our Deus Ex Machina, is the
Oh,
keeper.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
I have an idea. If you're gonna want to do this, what if we have Tobias try to kill their leader and then we just run away with her, so they only focus on Tobias?
We
Oh
just get
my
Tobias.
gosh!
We use Tobias as a distraction.
We
Yeah.
tell him that we're gonna do the coup.
We let him do it. It's a diversion. We run off with Geraldine.
Yeah.
That's
Fake her
actually
death or
genius.
something.
Thank you.
That's what we do.
Mm.
Okay.
That's it.
And you get Mac. You get Mac. I get Geraldine. We get the heck out of here.
Mac's gonna be very upset with me. He'll know. He's a good boy.
Here's even a step further. You go back and you tell her that you've thought about it and you do want to kill Tobias. And then we tell Tobias that we're doing the coup idea. And then it's a trap.
We play them all.
And then
I
we
like
get
it.
away.
I like it.
So who's gonna tell the Witchblades that you want to sleep? Luminous, you're the closest.
Oh, this sucks. Hey guys.
We found a shortcut and can afford a nap.
Yeah, we talked to the Scarecrow, and he said he could get us closer, and in doing so, we could rest and get the full strength, and then go out.
Every moment that we're resting, that panther is healing.
And every moment that we're not resting, he's gonna attack us and kill us with his knock-knocks. Because if we're not at full strength, we're not gonna be able to battle. We already lost so many men the last time we faced them, and we were at full strength. Now we're not, and what do you think's gonna happen? Death, and death, and death, and death, and some other death, but they're over there right now, so that's not important. And I was pointing at each every one of them at the same time, including myself, because there's 4 of us.
How close could he get us?
He said it was pretty close.
We rest for now, and immediately after the rest, then we go.
Sounds like a plan to me. By the way, Luminous has no idea about y'all's coup, by the way. Like, Kyle came up with the plan, but you guys came up with the plan canonically. And Luminous is very confused and is going to have to go talk to that woman and does not look forward to it whenever you tell him.
Allow me to remind you that the last I checked, you had what? 1 of your antidotes left?
Yeah, I know.
If you turn, this is not a place that I'm going to capture you. I will kill you.
I know.
How have we not killed the Witchblades yet?
You
Well,
need the Witchblades for the antidotes.
Oh, yeah.
And I kind of soul bonded with them.
What happened to my power?
I just realized that. Let me rephrase what he says. If your friend turns, I'm going to kill him. And we're going to keep you alive with the antidote that we can make from that.
Okay. I understand.
If you turn, you're a hazard to everyone. We need to get there. And this is the last distraction that I'm going to tolerate.
I agree with you.
So go get your rest.
Okay. You should rest as well.
All right, so as you go back to your allies.
Guys, we're going to get rest.
So about resting.
Hey, Luminous.
Hey, Killen, what's up?
We have a
really
plan.
I don't like how you said that.
I need you to go back and talk to Bernadette. Oh, Bernie.
Why?
Tell her you'll kill Tobias.
But I thought we didn't want to kill Tobias because that's morally wrong.
Oh, we're not going to kill Tobias.
Okay, then why are we telling her that?
Well, we're also going to tell Tobias that we're going to do the coup, which we also think is morally wrong.
So why?
So we can kidnap Geraldine, which is less morally wrong because she's a slave.
Now, how do we also handle the fact that we're supposed to rest and immediately leave, or we will not make it to the knock-knocks?
Are you sharing this information with Geraldine while she's around?
No, not yet.
Oh, no.
Come and stand over here.
Yeah. Excuse me, my pocket is murmuring. And I take out the imp.
Hey, Atago, how do you feel about slavery?
Do you even know how a potion of rest works?
The
You
imp
have
has a point.
somebody. If you're already stealing things, the person you're trying to free is selling potions.
Wow, this makes our plan even better. I love it.
All
I'm
right,
so
so
glad I got this thing.
Believe
I put it back
that
in my...
this is the group that I'm stuck with.
So let me get this straight. You're an idiot. I don't like you. I'm pointing at the little thing. I'm like,
He's
You're annoying.
pointing good things out.
Hey,
See, I
buddy,
told
I've
you
done
this would
nothing
come in
but give you
handy.
favors, and probably the best favor I'm going to give you is that you should not be wearing spring colors.
Okay, I put it back in my
All
pocket.
insults are petty and about people's appearance and hygiene.
Okay, sometimes he's very helpful, so I think this is a good purchase.
so let me just get this straight. One of us, me, is gonna have to go talk to Burnett and say, I'm willing to kill for X%. Which one of you is going to Tobias and say, let's do the coup? And then which one of us is going to steal?
Well, I'm going to steal because I'm fast.
Okay, you're stealing. Where is what's her name again? Because I can't
To
remember.
be fair, also
I haven't even
Bernadette.
talked to her. I have talked to her. I bought something from her, but I don't remember her name because she wasn't that important to me. But she's more important to you anyway.
Geraldine.
Geraldine.
So
Yeah,
I
thank
actually
you.
wasn't here for y'all's conversation with Tobias earlier this evening. How did that go?
He wants us to start a revolt, and then we said, how are we going to start a revolt if nobody's going to agree with him?
Gotcha. Was he wanting to do that like here and now?
Yes.
Yeah, he was ready to pop off.
Gotcha. Yeah, so he's an idiot and a dangerous idiot.
And they want him dead because of it.
Yeah.
We don't really know
Okay.
why they want him dead. We just assume it was because
Yeah.
they
Probably because
overheard
he's
him.
important to us somewhere.
Maybe
along-
I can try. Maybe I can try to get it out of her when I'm saying I agree to it, and just
Yeah.
like as a favor to me, since I'm willing
So-
to do this deed.
Morgan, is this group of the Draconians here, is this all of the Draconians that came to the island? Or is this just a
These are all the ones that are.
outpost of them?
These are all the ones that are alive.
So, him throwing a coup, even if he were to win and eliminate these people, there's not like a bunch of other Draconians somewhere that's going to find out. Okay, so he's less of an idiot, I guess.
So another question: we have a group with us as well.
They don't have to know.
They'll be resting while this is happening at your instruction.
Okay.
I think the real
I
question
think this
is,
is. I think
you-
this is a terrible idea, but let's do it.
I said it was stupid.
do you tell Bernadette that you have heard he was going to do a coup anyway and say you could easily
Well-
ensnare him and kill him
Hold on,
yourself?
why are we telling Bernadette anything?
So their pure focus is on Tobias.
Yeah.
But then they'll kill him before he can start the distraction.
If they
I'm the one
wanted-
that's supposed to kill him.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
they wanted
but-
that done, they would have already done it.
That's true.
They want me to do it, so it's not them that can actually get their hands dirty. While
That's
he's also ready to get a coup, and he is willing to put his hands out and do it.
cool.
Okay.
I just don't. Okay, so what is his coup plan? Because I
No,
mean,
it's
There's
if he
not
were
a
to
plan.
just run at somebody with a sword, they're gonna kill him. And I mean, it's an army of one.
I think we whoever talks to him tells him the best solution is to cut off the whatever the main dude's head is. Just like go over there, act like you're gonna talk to him, and then as he's leaving, try to get behind him and cut his head off. And maybe that will cause enough chaos to where we can run. Maybe I shoot a little bow and arrow or something, or you shoot a bow and arrow, and we hit him in the leg or something like the Achilles. And
no, I've got that. Hang on, I've got that.
You got the Zandu arrow, don't you?
Yeah,
Yondu.
I've got
Yondu,
Yondu's
sorry.
whistle arrow thing.
Because like what we could do is if we do like we could also just like kill Tobias so we don't have him coming after us as well. And then if like they come after us, we're like, we killed Tobias, we couldn't stop him with the coup, we didn't know about it. It's like if they're able to talk, like we're gonna have to murder him too. Honestly,
This is getting very complicated.
I don't like this.
I
I just wanted to rest and go kill some knock-knocks.
Why isn't this murder easy?
That's why I think we just need to tell Tobias, hey, go for it. And
Tobias seems like a man who would be very willing to come back and haunt us for the rest of our lives if he does not die.
I feel like if he doesn't die doing this, he either wins and is happy, or
yeah, but he'll know we betrayed him. And like, if we're looking at the odds here, Killen, this is Luminous looking at you. The odds are is the Draconians are gonna win, so we'd rather be on their side, even though we're gonna kidnap. So like, maybe we can give like a little trade thing, and like, maybe I can go in there and be like, hey, maybe I can say like, hey, if you give us, if you completely save her, I will kill him. If you let her go.
I kind of like the Imp's idea of having the Keeper just kick her out.
Okay, fine.
How about we just tell her we're thinking of ways to break you out and we'll come back for you?
That would be a lot easier. Yes. And we tell Tobias also we're might be interested in a coup. And then I can go over to Bernadette and say, when we come back, we will have to leave soon, but we will come back, and I will potentially discuss killing him with you for a price. Even though I really don't want to kill him because he's been kind to me. We talk about chess, and he's got a good boy named Mac with him.
Hey, we don't have to tell her anything right now. She was, not happy, but...
No, but she also tried to use mind control on me, and I did not get mind control.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm talking about Geraldine.
So what's the plan?
I don't like this. I think we just rest and come back, and after we go and try to fight the knock-knocks and stuff.
That's my vote. To go do adventure as normal and then try to handle this later?
Yes. That's my vote.
I don't like it, but I guess that
we definitely need to flesh out this plan a little bit better.
I got it. I have the ring.
What ring?
Oh, did I not tell you? I got a ring that if I start it, anything that happens in 10 minutes,
I'll make a decision. I have to go get a baby.
Basically, how the ring works is if I use it,
okay, you got a time snap ring?
Yeah.
How does that help?
Well, we can see how the plan goes, and if it doesn't work, we don't do it again.
I don't think that works for all of us. I think that just works for you.
No, the ring specifically brings you back to the point in time.
It doesn't it doesn't just like, I know, but everybody else goes back to that point too. Like, they're like, hang on. So it brings me back in time. Wouldn't they forget everything?
It doesn't do anything to normal time. It brings you back to the space that you occupied at the time that it was activated.
Yeah, I understand what that means.
It shunts you back.
But then what happens to everything around me?
Time continues as normal for everyone.
You're
the only person that doesn't know what happened.
I'm the only person?
You're the only person that doesn't know what happened.
Oof. That's a terrible ring. Why did you buy that?
Because I did not. That's not what I understood when I read it. Because it does not say that when you read it.
Yeah, it doesn't say that. So it's not. That is one possible interpretation of what it might do, but you haven't used it yet.
Let's
I
not
don't-
use it for this.
I like my idea of it a lot better.
You'd have to have a much more powerful ring to control the flow of all time.
I feel like this is a pretty good ring. Can I roll for this to argue with storyteller?
it's not working the way you.
I'll roll a 20 die, and only if I get a 20 we can have this conversation.
No, it works as written, which is
That's close.
that when you activate the ring, you take note of your exact location, and after exactly 10 minutes, you will be teleported to that exact position. You are returned exactly as you were at the moment of activation. That includes your health, any conditions you're under, even if you died between activating the ring and being returned to your original location. So the only thing it affects is you. So it's returning you to a state in which that you existed in throughout time, even as time passes after. So you're saving time. As soon as you activate it, the things that happen next aren't permanent to you, but you will return to the space after that 10 minutes.
Gotcha. All right, so we cannot do that one. So the bag where I can just conjure up anything.
Mhm.
Can I just conjure up money?
You can conjure any generic simple object.
I feel like money's
One piece of object. So yes, if you can fit a kind of currency that fits within a 1 by 1 foot cubic space. Yes, if it exists.
I
I
feel
just
like you can.
realized it's midnight my time and 1 o'clock y'all's time.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
intending to end earlier than this, but this discussion went on for a while.
Sorry.
That's all right.
That's why I was trying to get the rest thing so we could because it was 12:30 when I started that.
So, for instance, a gold bar, yes.
How many times can I do this?
You can, if you create a new object that's conjured in this way, the first one disappears.
Can I fit 2 gold bars in the
Object, singular.
What about diamonds? What's the most valuable thing in this world?
Diamonds are not especially valuable in a fantasy world in which nobody ever created an entire government business system related to diamonds.
So it's just gold that's valuable.
Gold is universally
And how much
valuable.
And how much would a gold bar be worth?
Could be quite a bit.
What's up, little man? What's on his? Are those bears? Mouses?
Bunnies.
Rabbits? Bunnies?
Conjure a gold bar, pay off her debt, and let's get out of here.
I could try it and see how much it's worth.
You can
Conjure
try.
the biggest gold bar you can conjure.
Yeah, I want a 1 foot by 1 foot.
Okay, exactly, like a 1 foot cubic.
As big as I can do
Alright.
it. So yeah. Would that be 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot?
Yeah, it's a cubic
A
foot.
cubic foot.
That's a massive.
It's very heavy. One cubic foot of gold.
He's ready to start speaking.
1 cubic foot of gold, please.
Yep, that's what I pull out.
All right, this thing immediately slips out of your hands because it's so heavy and it like falls to the ground. There's also a tiny little trademark symbol that looks like a bag on the corner.
Oh,
of it.
that's dirty.
Uh,
I think we need to sleep on this one, guys, and come back next session.
all right.
All right.
Yeah,
I gotta feed this little monster. It's trying to eat the mic.
it's 1 o'clock.
Hey, Sammy's got something to say.
All right, what do
Grab
you
the
think?
mic. Hey, buddy.
What do you think?
Sammy, he can't hear us, but hi.
See him waving?
All
He
right.
keeps looking at the screen.
Yeah.
So whenever the next time that we play, we'll think more clearly about the coup that you're trying to perform.
I don't like it. I think we should just left her, but that's just me.
Well, thank you for playing, guys. You got some new magic items, so I anticipate that. I didn't anticipate all this happening, but I anticipate that it could be like maybe 3 more games would get us to the point that I think we could sort of reasonably finish up what we discussed before to get a good season 1 ending kind of thing. 2 to 3.
Sounds good. All right. See you guys later.
A cubic
Night.
foot of gold is $6,827,375.
How much does it weigh?
I have no idea.
Hold on.
Hey Google, how much would a cubic foot of gold weigh? 1,188.6 pounds.
Yeah, you almost broke your foot.
You
So,
did break your
over half a ton.
It's fine. It's fine. All right. See you guys.
See you guys.
Good games, guys.
Good game.
See you later.
See ya.